This dude was totally freaking out when he realized he was stuck in a classroom. After calming down a bit, Dehoa confirmed he had been reincarnated back to right before the high school graduation exam, exactly 25 days away. He couldn't believe it, screaming, pulling his hair and ears, face pale as hell. What the hell is this? Reincarnated but still got a cram for the graduation exam, might as well just die already. Since forever, humans on Lamtin have faced a natural disaster called the Rift Invasion. The Rift connects to another world, filled with terrifying demon beasts. The Masters exploit cracks in the Rift to invade the human world. To fight these beasts, humans developed a demon beast gene system, injecting demon beast genes to awaken monster templates and unlock genetic talents. Only fighters like these can save human civilization. This also means fighters get way higher status and perks than regular folks. All of Lam Tin entered an era that worships martial arts. Everything else is low class. Only martial arts is top tier. The system screen popped up and started displaying, introducing the world through it. The time-traveling host named Dehoa, a reserve fighter here, are the memories of the original owner. While he was still stuck in his negative haze, classmates started mocking and laughing. Look useless, Dehoa's daydreaming again. Haha, this loser thinks he can pass the college entrance exam, sneered a girl in a pink shirt looking down on him. You better drop out and go home, you worthless piece of trash. Work some low-level job and hide away till you die. Dehoa's face twisted like a monkey's, starting to accept the harsh reality. As expected, every bullied main character's story always has a ringleader girl. He wasn't just indifferent, but analyzed. Seems like the original owner's rep in class wasn't great. After his parents died in an accident in 11th grade, he lost focus on training and studying. As a result, his previously decent grades plummeted, becoming a thorn in the class's side. So that's how it is. Seeing Dehoa's face change, the girl snapped, "Hey, what you looking at? This is a martial arts class. Wanna fight?" The dude was shocked. What am I looking at? Just thinking that's all. The original owner wasn't good at school. But the unlucky one was me, stuck with this anxious mood, getting looked down on and eventually dying. Just then, the teacher walked in. "Are you all ready? It's time for the gene modification injection. Believe in yourselves, everyone." 3 years of physical training and martial arts cultivation have led to today, and those who never took this seriously. At this point, Dehoa put his hands on his hips and smirked, thinking, yeah, right. Not being good at school isn't my fault, so why be ashamed? But since I'm taking over the original owner's brother's spot, I gotta clean up his mess. This is Unthan, first high gene injection room. Whispers buzzing everywhere. Guess which monster template I can awaken. Maybe the Fiery Mountain 3rd rank, or the Frozen Sea Dragon 4th rank, but I'm pretty sure it's a 1st rank beast. Ha ha, inside this box is the Gene Awakening Serum, containing the primal genes of all demon beasts collected by human fighters. After injection, the body absorbs one to awaken. Usually, the stronger the physique, the stronger the demon beast gene awakened. The teacher picked up the medicine and instructed, "Students, don't worry. After getting the Awakening Jealousy Serum injection, stay calm and embrace this power. Now call the students up one by one to receive the serum." Then students like Tran Bang Phai and Mu Duan Nak were called up. After the injection, everyone screamed in pain as their bodies transformed. Dehoa watched this scene anxiously. After the trial serum injection, they all became really strange, even in agony. Looks like this stuff isn't easy to handle. He decided to push everything aside and jab the serum straight into his neck, risking it all. As the serum entered his body, Dehoa's eyes turned blue, but something felt off. The teacher stared closely, squinting, then said, "Dehoa, it seems like you didn't change at all." He blankly replied, "Sir, could it be that the serum I got is fake?" The girl in the pink shirt sassily stepped forward to tease him. "Ha ha ha, look everyone, it seems Dehoa didn't awaken at all. A martial artist who doesn't awaken is like a bird without wings. Dehoa, isn't this game over for you? Haha, just like you wanted. Now you can skip being a martial artist. Just go home and wait to die." Dehoa felt his chest tighten with anger. That girl was so annoying. She must be the ringleader bullying me, right? Suddenly, he felt a chill, his heart pounding, a strange sensation creeping through his body. The system displayed a notification. Infinite monster sample received, host Dehoa. Synthetic physique grade B. The main martial arts school teaches basic chi cultivation for students. Pink shirt girl kept standing with hands on hips, arguing, "If you don't awaken, then you don't. Why pretend?" Dehoa's body trembled and his voice changed. He warned, "You guys better leave now." That girl resisted. "Why should we? Based on what?" Dehoa gritted his teeth and replied, "If you don't leave, you won't make it." The moment he finished, he screamed fiercely. A terrifying power burst out, throwing her and nearby students far away. Everyone panicked as the collision was intense. "Who just awakened? I can't handle this energy." "What did you do?" Some glanced around. thinking, is there someone stronger than me? The system displayed an A-grade monster sample, Legendary Demon Lord. Bloodline ability, soil poison, infection, nuclear pulse, core energy absorption, evolution form Blazing Red Demon Lord. Only activated at 100% compatibility, currently at 3%. Dihoa's whole body trembled in waves. He muttered, "What's this infinite A-grade Demon Lord monster model?" Dihoa looked at his palm, glowing brightly with spiritual energy, flowing from every cell. Energy so abundant it shone. Amazed, he exclaimed, "Could this be the golden hand the system granted me?" The classmates who had always looked down on Dihoa couldn't believe their eyes witnessing this peak power. Was that the useless guy just now? The guy next to them widened his eyes, instantly using his chi field to push everyone back. They glanced at the pink shirt girl. The bully who lay motionless on the floor, eyes rolled back. They whispered, "Vuong Dong Dong is stunned." She awakened the second fire seal. And Dihoa, what monster model did he awaken? The chatter was non-stop. After witnessing Dihoa's terrifying innate power, those who used to constantly mock him now just bow their heads to the ground, trembling in fear. Dihoa, with an innocent, clueless look, scratched his head awkwardly. Ahem. Sorry about that, the noise was a bit loud. I already told everyone to move away, but no one listened to me. Just then, the school loudspeaker announced that the awakening drug injection time had ended. All awakened students are requested to immediately move to the testing building for beast gene and martial arts level assessment. Cut to the testing building. This place is equipped with many advanced gene breakthrough testing devices, capable of accurately identifying each person's beast gene type and martial arts level. Students entered the testing area one by one, and results quickly appeared on the big screen. Li Hum Nguyen from Class 12-8 awakened the bloodline of the demon beast Tut Fong Trung 3rd stage. The crowd instantly buzzed. Lucky for him, he used to be average, now he's the class ace. A strong bloodline really can't be messed with. The next result announced belonged to another male student. Sir Chow, Martial Arts Level 9. Awakening the bloodline of the Ice Demon Dragon Peak 3rd stage. Everyone kept chatting excitedly. Sir Xiao truly deserves to be the top of the grade. Martial Arts Level 9, and awakened to the Ice Demon Dragon Peak 3rd stage. This year's top scholar, Thon, is definitely him. Another beautiful female student also caught attention when her result was announced. Liu Wudong Martial Arts Level 9, awakening the rare Yumin Turk bloodline, 4th stage. The crowd was stirred up again. Look, Miss Liu is also a Level 9 awakened. Oh my god, Yumin Turk, rare 4th stage bloodline top scholar, this is the real deal. A 4th stage beast if in true form can destroy half a city. Ordinary martial artists are like ants before them. Only top-tier masters can stand a chance. Dihoa still hadn't been tested yet. He stood below, looking up at the results board, chin in hand, full of curious thought. Their monster models were divided into 3rd and 4th stages. So why is his rated as grade A? Suddenly, the loudspeaker unusually emphasized his name. Next class 7-3. Dihoa. Dihoa jumped, his face slightly red from embarrassment. Did they really have to call out his full name like that? It was super fast, with that earth-shattering performance just now. Dihua became the center of all attention and expectation. Admiring and respectful gazes poured in from all directions. The crowd automatically split into 2 rows to let him pass. The whispers of admiration never stopped that kind of impact. He's definitely gonna be a big deal later. Gotta buddy up with him, as soon as possible. Gotta grab that big bro's leg. Wow, my male god. My male god, it's Dihoa's turn now. With that vibe earlier, his level can't be low. Totally top-notch. The more praise he got, the more pressure Dihoa felt. Only he knew his talent was rated grade A. A completely different classification system. He muttered, "This world really worships the strong in the rawest way." Dihoa walked through the cheering crowd, straight into the testing room with a calm demeanor. No expression at all. Meanwhile, the shouting and chatter outside didn't stop. This time Dihua will definitely make the whole class look up. It's his turn now, and his ability can't be ordinary. So cool. What bloodline level can emit such a strong aura? Our Anthon is really about to have a heavyweight player. However, in a distant corner, someone stood silently watching. Eyes cold and clearly not happy seeing Dihua being praised. This person thought to himself, so, his name is Dihua, huh, he's actually pretty promising. Moments later, Dihoa's info popped up on the big screen, showing only basic details. While all the important stats were marked as unknown, people's surprise quickly turned to shock, then exploded into skeptical and mocking chatter. Martial skill level 3 beast bloodline unknown. Martial skill level 3, haha. Even my little brother in middle school could beat this kind of guy, what a joke. Totally hyped the wrong dude. The crowd's attitude flipped again. Laughter broke out. Bloodline, unknown, probably nothing special. Yeah, level 3, martial skill, means no good bloodline. Turns out he just farted big earlier to bluff us. Dihoa's just a dry lump of mud trying to climb the wall. While everyone laughed, Dihoa quietly stepped out of the exam room, looking full of frustration. The young man muttered, "The demon core wasn't detected by the scanner. But the infinite monster model system has been activated." The virtual system panel appeared in his mind. Instructions for upgrading infinite monster models. Complete missions gain fame to get more monster model draws. Currently, no draws left. The young man thought my models are ranked differently, but this means... Dihoa smirked. A sly, unpredictable smile. Then his eyes flashed with fierce determination, mixed with extreme excitement as he looked at his hands. As long as conditions are met, he can draw infinite monster models. He kept muttering, "Doesn't that mean I'll become the Monster King?" The next morning, at Anthon No. 1 High School, it was a bright, sunny day. In the teacher's office, a strict-looking teacher took a big sip of coffee, then eyed the student standing before him suspiciously. "What? You want to skip school, study at home until the college entrance exam, then come back?" Dihoa stood straight, legs apart, fists clenched, showing excitement and determination. "Sir, I really want to improve. I know I'm lacking a lot of knowledge, and without a special training plan, keeping up with everyone is nearly impossible." The teacher looked at Dihoa seriously, his tone practical and somewhat warning. "Dihoa, you have to understand that if you want to be a true martial artist, the only path now is to get into martial arts university. I know you just awakened your bloodline, but your foundation is too weak. Almost zero. Passing the university entrance exam this year is impossible. My honest advice is to prepare to retake the exam next year. Don't rush it." Standing there, facing doubt and harsh advice, Dihoa couldn't hold back his determination. He used his ultimate skill, sincere pleading eyes shining, full of deep passion and hope. "Sir, the harder it gets, the more I have to improve fast. Maybe you don't fully see my potential yet. I've awakened an extremely powerful bloodline. Just give me a chance to train hard, and I will definitely succeed. Please look into these sincere eyes of mine. I'm absolutely not lying." Dihoa's somewhat over-the-top but heartfelt reaction softened the teacher's heart. Your eyes really do look sincere. Well, I guess I can't make it harder for you." "Alright then, but remember, next year you have to come back and register for exam prep with me." The scene shifts to Anthon Martial Arts Center. Dihoa wandered alone on the bustling wide street in the city center. He walked while deeply calculating in his mind. The house his parents left behind had been mortgaged, borrowing 600,000 plus over 1 million in accident compensation. Now he had a decent amount of capital. To quickly boost his power, there were two main paths. One was to upgrade his martial arts rank. The other was to increase compatibility with the Emperor Demon Scorpion. Recalling the info flashing on the system screen, Dihoa was lost in thought, his mind completely detached from the world around him. According to data from the Infinite Monster model, each base sample had only 1% basic compatibility, but his Emperor Demon Scorpion Frenzy started at 3%. Where did that extra 2% come from, he wondered. There was only one reasonable explanation. The Demon Scorpion sample had absorbed residual medicinal power from the Gene Awakening drug, adding 2% compatibility. This discovery jolted Dihoa awake. This proved that ordinary gene drugs in this world could enhance the abilities of my monster model. He thought to himself, compared to grinding martial arts, step by step, the shortcut of spending money to upgrade compatibility seemed way more his style. Finding a shortcut to quickly increase power, Dihoa couldn't help but get hyped. He had to buy new gene enhancement drugs as soon as possible. Entering the martial arts center, Dihoa swiped his student card at the security gate. At that moment, a strange sensation hit him. His eyes widened, his face showing extreme shock. In his special vision, Dihoa noticed everyone around was enveloped by a unique aura of energy, clearly reflecting their awakened powers. And most people here had strong auras, a clear sign they were martial artists with superior abilities, making him unable to hide his surprise. Dihoa exclaimed, "Is this place full of martial artists who have awakened their bloodlines?" After awakening the Emperor Demon Scorpion Frenzy model, Dihoa discovered he possessed a special sensing ability. The life magnetic field of the Demon Scorpion could amplify his ability to sense the life signals of surrounding creatures. He could clearly feel the blood boiling in their bodies, even hear the primal growls of the beast hidden in the bloodline of these martial artists. Instantly, a fierce excitement surged in Dihoa's chest. His eyes flashed with a spark full of spiritual power. "Martial artists, beasts, I can't hold back this raging thirst for battle." He smiled softly, his voice mixed with confidence and wild ambition. After all, the Emperor Demon Scorpion Frenzy was the king of monsters in this world. a sovereign born to conquer every creature on the planet. Unable to contain his emotions, Dihua almost shouted out loud, "Too bad, I'm still too weak. So for now, Emperor Demon Scorpion has to hold back a bit. When I grow stronger, I'll show the whole world what a true monster king looks like." Lost in ambitious plans for the future, suddenly, a gentle hand tapped Dihua's shoulder from behind. "Hey kid, don't go sneaking a peek at others like that." "Kid." Dihua startled and turned around, realizing the misunderstanding. The young man awkwardly explained, "Ah, sorry miss. You didn't mean to, right?" The older sister seemed pretty chill, waving her hand and saying, "It's all good. You probably just awakened your beast bloodline and haven't mastered your powers yet, huh? What brings you to the martial artist center?" Dihua replied right away, "I came to buy jealousy medicine, but this place is huge, and I can't find the counter." "Hey beautiful, can you help me find the way?" The older sister was super enthusiastic. "Buying jealousy medicine, you already need that at this stage." Dihua blinked, asking, Is there anything special I should know?" "Nothing major. It's just that jealousy medicine made from red soil tends to cause drug resistance, so its effectiveness drops with each use. To get the best results, martial artists usually wait until their bloodline reaches its natural limit before starting to use the medicine." Dihua still looked a bit lost and asked, "So, how much does a bottle of jealousy?" The stylish girl held up 4 slender fingers and eagerly answered, "Well, at your current stage, you can only use the basic reinforcement medicine, which costs about 400,000 dong per bottle." Hearing that number, Dihua felt like he was going to pass out right there, his face instantly drained and shocked. His entire savings weren't enough to buy even 5 bottles. He awkwardly asked, "Hey, do you know anyone who can hook me up with a discount?" After a moment's thought, the girl gently bent down, pulled a business card from her pocket, and handed it to him. Though the gesture was subtle, her chest bounced noticeably. "Alright, take my card. If you mention me, you'll get a little discount." Huang Luonglei, a 4th-stage martial artist, hearing this was over the moon, immediately grabbing the card with sparkling eyes. He happily waved goodbye. "Thanks a lot." The older sister smiled back. "No problem, see you around." Right after the chat ended, Dihua got straight to work. He was about to dive into a money-burning spree at the specialized stores for martial artists. At the pharmacy counter, he paid 150,000 dong, then another 250,000 dong at the weapons shop. Just like that, Dihua spent wildly without holding back. Before long, night had fallen. Scene shifts to Dihua's apartment complex, where the young man was focusing all his energy. Despite the pain and discomfort spreading through his body, Dihua gritted his teeth and endured. Every day, he absorbed power from those pricey jealousy medicine doses. The system kept notifying him non-stop. Monster model frenzied demonic beast. Compatibility rate 3 to 4%, 4 to 7%. Physical synthesis 8 to 10 to 15. Martial arts realm, 4th stage of martial arts technique. After a long time, Dihua was almost drained. He stretched out his arm, sweating buckets, lips twitching. Leveling up feels amazing. Although the first bottles only boosted physical strength by 2 points, the last bottle only added 1 point. The higher you go, the harder it is to boost your power on this base. The boost is tough but manageable. Just a few dozen minutes of medicine training equals 3 years of brutal hard work. This is just regular physical strength. If I activate the ultimate bloodline, I'll have a shot at snagging the top spot in this year's university entrance exam. The young man shouted with determination, charging into the secret realm. The secret realm's gaps are ranked from S, the highest and deadliest, down to E, the lowest and safest. The higher the level, the stronger and fiercer the demonic beasts inside. The S-level beasts in the secret realm are entities that current humans can't control. The determined young man shouted loudly and charged into the secret realm. The secret realm's gaps are divided into ranks from S, the highest and most dangerous, down to E, the lowest and safest. The higher the level, the stronger and fiercer the magical beasts inside. The beasts in the S-rank secret realm are entities that current humans cannot control. Once they break into the real world, it'll be a total apocalypse. Cut to Secret Realm number 3, Anthan, level E, fully equipped with weapons and armor. Dihua steps into the entrance area of the level E secret realm. He scans the surroundings for a moment, then mutters, "There are fewer people here than I thought. Maybe because this secret realm has been explored for a while. Most of the treasures have been snatched up, leaving only weak beasts for rookies like me to train on." The young guy walks down the path and spots a small registration booth. "Hey, I've got a ticket for Secret Realm number 3. The woman in charge barely pays attention, lazily handing over some papers to Dihua. "Sign this death waiver. Here's your ticket." The spatial gate leading into the secret realm appears before Dihua, a swirling vortex of unstable energy, radiating ancient, dangerous vibes. So this is the Secret Realm's rift. This is where my journey to become the Monster King begins. Without hesitation, he takes a running start and dives straight into the space vortex, his heart full of anticipation and hype. I'm here. The moment he jumps into the Secret Realm's crack, the familiar three-dimensional world instantly vanishes. It feels like he just crossed into another dimension, entering a completely fresh world. Quickly, Dihua lands safely on the ground. Reflexively, he plants his hand on the ground and drops to one knee, a move executed with mad skill. From his current spot, inside the Secret Realm, he can clearly see other planets floating in the sky, glowing with strange colors. The Thuong Lan planet, the Amvi planet, the Thai Kim planet, all creating a scene totally different from Earth's sky. Dihua quickly adjusts his gear. He looks around in awe. Even though he learned about this from books, nothing beats witnessing it firsthand. It's freaking spectacular, and he can even see the starry sky. The young man remains chill, unaware that something's sneaking up behind him. It's a first-tier demon beast, the Daonyatho. The moment it bares its teeth, it charges at Dihua with a thunderous roar. He instantly spins around, grabs its neck to teach it a lesson for sneaking up like that. Dumb move. Did you really think I wouldn't sense you? Just like that? He crushes it without mercy, wiping it out completely. In his hand remains a small, sparkling crystal. He picks it up to examine the core carefully, the demon core of the Daonyatho average quality. Market value is about 1,000 dong. Just like that, he's earned 1,000 already. Not bad for efficiency. Civilians work all year and only make 3 to 4,000. Dihua's mood turns super chill. He holds the spirit stone up to admire it. But collecting too many first-tier demon cores won't help much. It's better to focus on hunting second-tier beasts and above. Just then, an unusual movement underground behind him startles him to turn around. A giant, soft-bodied monster surfaces. It writhes like a mutated earth snake, its slimy body hundreds of times bigger than Dihua. It is a level 2 demonic beast. The more strange and powerful beasts he encountered, the more excited Dihua felt. He quickly draws the short dagger at his side, a cocky smile playing on his lips. Whatever he wants, he gets. Here in the level E Secret Realm, Anthan number 3, where Dihua begins his dungeon-breaking journey. Facing the appearance of the second-tier demon beast Yeho Trung, he doesn't flinch. With just one powerful slash, precise and sharp, you manage to carve a deep wound into the monster's body. The bug screamed in piercing pain, and its greenish venom sprayed everywhere like rain. In a defensive stance, Dihua glanced at the monster, silently analyzing. He recalled what he had read in the demon beast library. Compared to the tough armor on its back, the soft belly of this bug was clearly its weakest point, easiest to break through. The monster hit hard, curled up like a giant wheel, then charged forward at a terrifying speed, aiming to crush Dihua. Facing this fierce counterattack, Dihua stayed calm. He raised both hands, channeling his full body energy, quietly chanting martial arts mantras. Instantly, a powerful burst of energy shot from his palms straight at the second-tier demon beast. It opened its disgusting mouth wide, shooting out rows of large, sharp teeth. Spinning rapidly like flying saw blades, they rushed toward Dihua at breakneck speed, like a mobile guillotine. If you got hit by this, you'd definitely be cut in half. The guy looked pretty shocked. It could even shoot its teeth as weapons. After a wild twist that was anything but graceful, Dihua's damn shirt got torn. The guy freaked out, roaring curses at the damn mutated monster. Do you know how much this shirt cost? Dihua kept a safe distance, his mind quickly analyzing the situation. Facing the sea bug head-on was no small challenge. After all, without the support of his bloodline, no matter how strong his martial energy was, it was hard for him to unleash his full power. The original owner was lazy, so his martial foundation was weak. Now he could only barely manage. After that decision, Dihua's eyes widened, channeling his energy to the max, unleashing a powerful burst. He shouted, "Frenzied strike, demon bloodline activation." Instantly, his right arm transformed, covered in hard scales and sharp claws of the demon emperor's claw. 1 second later, Dihua dashed forward at insane speed, delivering multiple savage slashes across the monster's body. Its green venom splattered everywhere again, like rain. Exactly, Dihua swiftly took down this second-tier monster. He turned around, wiped sweat, and thought to himself. After his physical stats surged by 21 points, he definitely had enough power to handle this second-tier demon bug. He began to deactivate his transformation, needing to disperse the nuclear energy accumulated inside his body. The feeling was like being a jet engine. Looking at his weapon, the short saber was badly damaged. Dihua picked it up, annoyed, saying, "I just bought this short saber, and the demon bug's toxin already corroded it. 2,500,000 in gear, but this quality can't effectively handle second-tier demon beasts. I gotta report this store." Dihua's empty stomach growled non-stop. He rubbed his belly, muttering, "First time hunting demon beasts used way too much energy. So damn hungry and forgot to bring dried meat." Suddenly, amid the hunger pangs, a strange, fragrant scent wafted into Dihoa's nose. He started drooling, sniffing with his big nose, trying to pinpoint the source. That's when Dihoa realized the scent came from the demon core that had just dropped from the corpse of the second-tier demon bug. He picked up the demon core, holding it in front of him, muttering demon core. The core from the demon bug smelled especially enticing. Thinking for a sec, Dihoa opened his mouth wide and tossed the green magic core straight in. Whatever, let's see what happens. He swallowed it down with a gulp. As soon as the magic core hit his stomach, it instantly unleashed a brilliant spiritual energy that spread throughout his body and kicked in. The system panel popped up with a notification. The Mad Beast model reached MALAP compatibility rate at 7% to 7.3%. Accordingly, Dihoa's whole body emitted a stronger aura. He glowed like he swallowed a flashlight. Surprised, he said, "An increase." Even the compatibility went up. A thrilled grin appeared on his face as he clenched his teeth, his eyes shining bright with excitement. Awesome. Spending hundreds of thousands on a gene serum only bumps compatibility by 1%, but now just one green magic core raises it by 0.3%. So 3 or 4 cores equal 1 gene serum. That means the white magic core from the rabbit fang sword earlier must have at least 1% compatibility too. Thinking this, Dihoa almost cried from emotion, tears streaming down his cheeks from regret over the money spent. Man, money, money. He quickly regained his composure, pointed to his forehead, and said, "Turn pain into motivation." Dihoa declared boldly, "Tonight I'm gonna hunt like a beast." Within minutes, an invisible but powerful shockwave radiated from him, sweeping across a vast forest area like a radar wave. He shouted to activate his life force magnetic field. By noon the next day, Dihoa finally left the E-level secret realm. His system reported the results. Mad Beast model at MALAP compatibility at 9% overall physique at 15.8. As he casually stepped out of the space gate, Dihoa thought, now that compatibility hit 9%, no matter how many white magic cores he eats, it won't increase further. He can only sell them to cash out now. Later at the exchange counter, outside the secret realm, Dihoa dumped a pile of sparkling magic cores, 20 white magic cores, and 4 green magic cores. The exchange clerk was shocked at the amount. For real. Just a high schooler, yet he got so many magic cores. Others in line behind him gawked at Dihoa's haul, a mix of awe and respect. Standing at the counter, Dihoa told the clerk, according to government regulations, martial artists must hand over a portion of their harvest. I'll keep 1 green magic core and turn in 5 white magic cores. He calculated silently. That's 200,000 yuan in hand. Scene shifts to in-city D-level secret realm number 4, a ruined wasteland. At the center stood a half-collapsed old building. Right beside it was a spatial rift, much larger than the E-level secret realm, forming a terrifying blue energy vortex. The D-level secret realm entrance. The sun was shining bright today. Nearby, a shiny new convertible sports car was parked. A man in a blue shirt, wearing sunglasses, sat in the driver's seat and called out, "Captain Lam, this time, we gotta complete the bounty mission to find the blood jade flower, right?" Lam Ha, a second-stage martial artist, replied, "Last time we went in, we basically pinpointed the blood jade flower's location, but unfortunately, old Chen got seriously injured by a demon beast, so he can't come with us into the secret realm this time." A woman on the team crossed her arms, looking worried, and asked, "So, that leaves only 5 of us." Then, another man with a buzz cut spoke up. "That's right, and according to the rules, a squad must have at least 6 people to enter a level D secret realm." Lam Ha turned back and replied confidently, "No worries, I've already contacted the middleman. They introduced us to a new top-tier expert." He pointed toward a figure, casually walking over, dressed a bit scruffy, not looking like any kind of expert. No one else but this young guy was Dihoa. Everyone on the team looked skeptical, and someone asked, "Are you Desia Vodoku, Doan Dihoa?" Looking a bit sloppy, picked his nose while smirking and said, "Yeah," but inside, he thought since he's just a student, not officially qualified to enter the level D secret realm, he had to hit up the black market, dropping 100,000 to fake his identity and join the squad. That's pricey. Man, bad luck follows us everywhere. Lam Ha frowned slightly, looking concerned at the alias Dihoa chose. Desia, that name didn't sound right. Lam Ha thought to himself, but Dihoa just shrugged, looking helpless. "No choice, Captain, just read it out loud." Then, Dihoa acted like he didn't care about the name anymore. Lam Ha cleared his throat and said clearly, "All right, whatever, it's just an alias. With your current level 9 martial artist skills, you're not qualified to enter this secret realm, but our squad decided to give you a chance to come along, observe and learn. In return, You absolutely cannot slow us down. Got it, Dehoa replied curtly. His indifferent attitude said, whatever. He thought to himself that a team leader's job was to explain everything clearly and thoroughly before starting a mission. He seemed pretty reliable, not like those panicky types who freak out when stuff goes down. Everything was set and ready. Dehoa and the other team members quickly hopped into the off-road vehicle. Alright, let's roll. This time, we're definitely gonna find the blood jade flower. Moments later, the whole squad passed through the space gate, landing on a strange planet. The ground looked barren, dry, with no greenery. Captain Manhwa checked the locator and announced, "The blood jade flower is at the oasis ahead. Be careful, there's a second-tier bloodline demon beast guarding it." Dehoa sat in the vehicle, resting his chin on his hand, gazing dreamily out the window. Last time it was a tropical rainforest, now it's a desert. These secret realms really connect to wildly different worlds. Just then, as the vehicle pushed deeper, a pack of starving, wild, wolf-like beasts, with earth-colored fur, suddenly lunged out from both sides, chasing the vehicle. A team member in the back, highly alert, immediately reported, "Captain, it's a pack of earth ghost rats. They're charging fast, and we're their target." Manhwa stayed calm and ordered decisively, "Ho-Duck, handle them." Ho-Duck acted instantly, raising both hands in front of his chest, and in a blink, sharp, short blades appeared on the backs of his hands. Ho-Duck swung his arms powerfully backward. The daggers charged with spiritual energy shot out like lightning, piercing the heads of the earth ghost rats, causing them to explode instantly. The spiritual energy blast shattered their skulls, spraying blood and guts everywhere. Their painful screams echoed across the empty desert, but Dehoa's group's vehicle kept speeding forward without slowing. Ho-Duck sat back, retracting his hands, expression unchanged. The brief report was done. Dehoa glanced at his teammate, silently assessing channeling energy into the darts, turning them into mini-bombs upon impact. Quick and slick. This skill is seriously badass. The vehicle kept rolling, moving a bit further, and in the distance, signs of a lush, dense forest appeared totally different from the desert they just crossed. The sky on this planet was weird, with tons of planets floating clearly overhead, nothing like Earth's sky. Once they confirmed they were close to the target, the team decided to stop the vehicle. Everyone quickly got out weapons ready, prepped to enter the danger zone. Dehoa trailed behind, still looking a bit indifferent, feeling tired from the trip. He curiously asked the captain, "Why don't we just drive straight?" Manhwa led the way, explaining as he walked, "There's still a bit to go before the oasis. The beasts there are super sensitive to sound, so the off-road vehicle's engine noise would easily attract their attention. We'll move on foot and assign specific tasks. Tioha, you'll use scent bombs to lure the beast out of hiding. Tuvu Ho-Duck, you two set up traps. Lao Lu will handle distraction, and I'll take the front line. Dea, just stay on the perimeter and keep watch. Easy mission." Dehoa Chu responded with a crooked grin, "Got it." After the battle plan was clearly assigned, the Dehoa group fired a special signal flare into the sky. Boom boom boom, the explosions echoed across the area, followed by a fast-spreading white smoke carrying a special active compound. It was a bomb containing pheromones from a high-level monster, engineered to trigger other beasts, making them think their territory was invaded and chase the intruder. The effect was almost instant. The ground trembled lightly as a second-stage Earth Dragon beast appeared. Its body resembled a dinosaur, but was covered in electrically charged scales. It rose up massive and powerful, mouth wide open, dripping slobber, roaring like it wanted to shred any creature daring to come close. "It's here. Everyone be careful," Tuha warned. Meanwhile, at another spot where the Dehoa group had just wiped out a pack of earth rats, several throwing darts were still stuck deep in the sand. From afar, a tall figure, cloaked in black face, hidden silently approached. On this stranger's arm were two long scars crossing each other, looking fierce. He bent down and picked up a bloodied throwing dart belonging to Ho-Duck. As the mysterious figure emerged from the dust, an old man, with a bald head and dark sunglasses, appeared looking cool, but with a strange vibe. He licked the long blade of the dart in a creepy way, eyes filled with murderous intent and insane bloodlust, then let out a savage laugh. Ha ha ha. Back to the battle. The Earth Dragon beast immediately sensed danger. While the giant beast was raging to intimidate with wild power, Manhwa struck before it could do more. He charged like an arrow, swinging his sword in a sharp arc. With just one blow, the beast's head flew off its neck, crashing to the ground. The huge monster's body collapsed with a thud, green blood spurting out. Instantly, Tioha, the only girl in the Hot High team, ran up to report. "Captain Lam, the rear is also cleared. We finally nailed it." Standing over the massive fallen beast, Manhwa proudly slung his sword over his shoulder, a confident smirk on his lips. "News. Good job now, let's go find the blood jade fruit. But at that exact moment, an unexpected disaster struck. From behind him, a sharp clawed foot sliced through the air like a ghost. A terrifying scream echoed. Lam Ha spun around reflexively. At the critical split second, a figure dashed forward like a lightning strike. Dehoa, who nobody knew when he appeared, was right above the captain's head. Before anyone could figure out what he was about to do, bam! A thunderous punch came crashing down, accompanied by a fierce spiritual energy like a storm. The ground shook, dust clouds billowed everywhere. When the dust settled, Lam Ha was still standing unharmed, but his face was pale with shock. He turned to look at Dehoa, unable to believe his eyes. Wasn't he just a first-stage martial artist? Yet, he had the power to knock back a second-stage demon beast. Xiao Ha's eyes widened in astonishment. The punch was insanely strong. Immediately, Dehoa became the center of attention, teammates murmuring in awe, their eyes full of disbelief. Son, your punch is seriously deadly. You took down a second-stage demon beast. Dehoa just casually brushed off his hand, replying coolly and confidently. No big deal. Captain Lam Ha stepped forward, eyes gleaming with satisfaction. Thanks for saving me. From now on, you're officially part of our team. A moment later, Lam Ha found what they'd been looking for, a small, deep red fruit, shaped like a heart. He raised it up, cheering. Found it, the blood jade fruit. Xiao Vu curiously poked it. This time even collecting the core of the earth dragon too, not a bad haul. Xiao Ha looked at the glowing red fruit quietly wondering, is this little red round thing really that valuable? DMD Hoa stepped back, thinking silently, it might be the legendary Holy Maiden fruit. Lam Ha explained clearly, of course this can significantly boost compatibility with the martial arts template. Although it was a bit unexpected this time, we still managed to defeat the earth dragon and get the blood jade fruit. Just as Lam Ha finished speaking, a sharp slicing sound rang out. Hoduk, the silent one trailing behind, suddenly pulled a knife and stabbed a fatal blow from behind. He smiled wickedly, his voice dripping with smugness. Heh, it's not that simple, Captain Lam. The shocking scene stunned the whole team into silence for a few seconds. Captain Lam, what the hell is going on? Lam Ha immediately spun around and tried to resist with his hands. Hoduk, what the hell are you doing? Hoduk had anticipated this, quickly dodging and stepping back a few paces. At that moment, a stranger stepped out from behind. It was the old troublemaker who had picked up the dagger earlier. He grinned maliciously. Doing what? Haven't you figured it out yet? Of course we're doing something that can make us a lot of money. Seeing the newcomer, they were all shocked. Hoak Bang, why are you here? Xiao Vu clenched his fists, face flushed with anger, eyes burning with hatred for the two traitors. Dehoa tilted his head and quietly asked, you guys know this troublemaker? Xiao Vu spat each word, eyes full of resentment. Hoak Bang, he's a notorious thief, always lurking and stealing loot that other martial artists worked hard to get in the secret realm. Damn, it turns out he had his sights on us all along. Meanwhile, Captain Lam Ha was barely standing, clutching his bleeding wound, gasping and yelling, the blade's poisoned. Hoduk, you traitor, how did you know we'd come here? The exact location of the blood jade fruit was only confirmed after we entered the secret realm. Dehoa quietly observed the whole situation, his mind starting to piece together the clues. The image of entering the secret realm flashed back when Hoduk dealt with the earth rat spirits using throwing knives. Suddenly realizing, he muttered in his head, that guy purposely threw the knives far away to signal his comrades. At this point, Hoduk didn't even bother to pretend anymore. He flipped, completely gripping the dagger tightly, his face fierce like a demon. Haha, you're actually pretty smart. Aren't you just some ordinary high school student? Probably about to take the college entrance exam, right? Instead of studying at home, you want to sneak in here to meet the black and white impermanence. Aunt Hoang tilted her head, speaking calmly. That's right, I'm about to take the college entrance exam, and the top scorer spot is still waiting for me to claim it. Hearing that, Hoduk roared furiously like a madman, throwing his dagger forcefully toward Dehoa. Dehoa casually raised two fingers, trapping the dagger's blade mid-air. The move so quick and sharp no one could even blink, his eyes sharp as a sword. The one barking nonsense in front of me is the real delusional one. Not missing the chance. Dehoa clenched his fist tightly, spiritual energy blazing like a raging fire, engulfing his arm, his face turning icy cold to the bone. Disgusting time to clean up the trash. Seeing this, Ho Hak Bang the troublemaker couldn't stay still either. He ground his teeth, veins bulging on his forehead, roaring angrily. You're interesting too, Hoduk. I want its head. Order received. Hoduk didn't hesitate, channeling all his spiritual power to unleash his deadliest technique. Countless throwing knives shot out like a metal storm, so dense and fast it seemed impossible to dodge. The whole space around Dehoa was covered by sharp blades. Facing the hailstorm of knives from the traitor, Dihua just slightly crouched down. Instantly, an invisible protective energy circle appeared enveloping him. Every blade that came near shattered upon hitting the barrier. Dihua tensed and shouted loudly. When the storm ended, the protective shield around him vanished. Hoduk had disappeared. Someone shouted a warning, careful above. Immediately, Dihua raised 2 fingers, pointing directly at his forehead. A powerful spiritual energy spread out, his eyes suddenly glowing strangely. He muttered just the right moment to test the skill he just mastered. Moments later, Diho raised his hand high and aimed straight at Hoduk's chest as he charged, activating the full power of the Earth Core technique. Hoduk took a critical hit. Lamha watched stunned stiff. One move, then another, and Hoduk was already defeated. That guy. Is he really just a high school martial artist? Dihoa blew softly on his finger after the attack, making a gunshot gesture. Behind him, Hoduk collapsed with a thud onto the sandy ground face down, no sign of life left. In the distance, Hakbong stood frozen, his face full of confusion and fear, though he tried to keep a tough look. Gen technique. You're a descendant of this great clan. Dihoa leisurely straightened up hands in his pockets, radiating serious cool vibes. The clan. I'm from the demonic emperor tribe. What now? You want to kneel and beg for mercy? Right behind him, a giant beast illusion appeared, majestically, then vanished instantly. Hearing the taunt, Hokbong's face turned purple with rage. Screaming in fury and unleashing all his power. Kid, even if you have gen techniques, you can't make up for the gap in martial realm. Immediately, Hoakbong's body began to transform, his roar booming like thunder. His bulging muscles swelled up, hair sprouting wildly, and in the blink of an eye, he transformed into a massive, fierce black bear. Behind him, the bear's powerful legs opened wide, showing a mouth full of sharp teeth. Without hesitation, Huobang, in the form of a giant bear, rushed straight into Dihoa, activating the martial skill Ham Sun Din. Dihoa is still relax, first attacking to take down his table. Then he shot out his signature finger strike, blasting a stream of spiritual energy upward, aiming straight for the leg. Ah, my feet, Hukbang screamed in pain. Seeing that he could not defeat Dihoa, that way he changed his strategy, crouched close to the ground, swinging his giant bear paws in a wide arc, trying to grab his opponent. But Dihoa was lightning fast, leaping cleanly into the air, dodging smoothly. Not to be outdone, Hohakbang jumped up after him, determined not to let his prey slip away. True to his second-stage martial artist status, even though Dihua unleashed a powerful atomic breath attack, he had to admit, it wasn't enough to completely melt that giant ankle. 2 massive hands lunged just inches from him. The energy in Hoakbang's eyes surged, clearly showing his intention to crush his opponent without any mercy. A loud bang echoed as the bear paws clapped together hard, creating a shockwave that kicked up dust all around, but he missed. At that moment, Dihoa vanished from his spot. Not only dodging, he used that moment to teleport behind Hohakbang, his hands charged with spiritual energy ready to strike. Done playing. Now it's my turn. Dihoa clenched his fist tightly, his whole body blazing with energy, spiritual power burning like fire all around him. When his energy peaked, Dihoa didn't hesitate and launched his attack immediately. Hohakbang's massive form reverted to human shape after the hit, his body covered in scorched bruises. Dihoa's hands still steamed lightly. Those who once looked down on him now stared wide-eyed in shock. No one expected that the weak high school student they thought would possess such terrible strength. So strong, but Hoakbang still doesn't know what fear is. His face battered, body full of wounds. He stubbornly got up, voice full of rage. You dared to bring poison into the jealousy technique, you coward. A cruel martial artist like you will definitely be punished. I curse you. Clearly he misunderstood the true nature of Dihoa's power, and that curse was the last straw. Dihoa's eyes widened, glowing red fiercely in his pupils. He clenched his fist, his voice low and cold enough to send chills down spines. There are plenty who want to curse me. Who the hell do you think you are? At the Anthon Central Stadium, where the biggest annual university martial arts recruitment festival is happening. To celebrate this event, the government deployed an entire squadron of banner-flying planes everywhere, flags waving across the sky. From the loudspeakers came a passionate voice. Welcome everyone to the annual Advanced Martial Artist Selection. I just want to say one thing, wishing you all prosperous martial luck. The mic holder was a handsome male MC standing in front of the live camera. Behind him, the stands were packed, the electric atmosphere spreading throughout the stadium. This year, the exam used direct combat matches on the arena. Contestants were randomly paired, fighting knockout rounds, win and move on, lose and you're out. The competition lasted 3 days. The first 2 days were preliminaries, where each contestant had to survive 3 tough matches. The remaining contenders are entering the decisive third day, battling for the one and only top spot. You all carry the future of humanity on your shoulders. For yourselves and for mankind, show your true strength. I hereby declare the Anthon University entrance exam officially started. As the bold announcement ended, the whole school erupted. All 4 arenas simultaneously roared with the clash of combat. In the first arenas, the female contestants matched the guys blow for blow, making the atmosphere even more intense. However, a surprising turn of events drew thousands of eyes to arena number 6. Arena 6, did something happen there? The MC looked confused at the screen, quickly checking controls. Let me review this. The 2 contestants, Vuong Dong Dong and Dihoa, both from Anthon High School number 1. But right now, only Vuong Dong Dong is on the arena. On the stage, Vuong Dong Dong wore a smug grin. Seeing Dihoa absent, she immediately sneered with contempt. How dare she embarrass herself at such a major entrance exam event? That's just shameful. Below the stands, whispers started rising, growing harsher. Probably scared stiff, hiding at home too chicken to show up. Ha. If you're that cowardly, why bother studying? People like that don't even deserve high school, better off sweeping streets. The waiting time was running out. Finally, the referee blew a long, clear whistle and announced, Candidate Dihoa Anthon High School, number 1. Before he finished speaking, everyone simultaneously looked up to the sky. A blinding streak of light tore through the air, trailing black smoke crashing down onto Arena 6 like a meteor. What is that? An object or a person? Only when the light got closer did they realize it was Dihoa. After a thunderous boom, a massive spiritual force slammed down right in front of Vuong Dong Dong, making her stagger, barely holding herself from being blown away. As the thick dust from the terrifying landing began to clear, Vuong Dong Dong raised her head, her eyes blurry, unable to clearly see what was in front of her. She muttered shakily, "What kind of lame stunt is this?" But before she could steady herself, a faint silhouette shot at terrifying speed, and in a split millisecond, Dihoa's entire foot slammed against her face, sending her flying backward like a puppet, with cut strings crashing flat on the arena floor. He raised his hand to shield his eyes from the light, squinted at the opponent. He just kicked away, sighed in relief and muttered, "Phew, that was close. Almost had to wait till next year again." Meanwhile, Vuong Dong Dong, who a minute ago was full of pride, now lay collapsed on the floor, writhing in pain, unable to move a single finger. The referee's voice echoed over the loudspeaker, hesitant, as if unable to believe the outcome. Contestant Dihoa wins. Dihoa clicked his tongue, looking a bit disappointed. Is that it? Haven't even warmed up yet, and it's over that easily. The crowd below exploded with cheers, non-stop praise. Oh man, this Dihoa guy is insanely strong. One kick, and the opponent's down. So badass. That landing move is sick. Could this be the legendary sky-falling kick technique? At that moment, the familiar system popped into Dihoa's mind, announcing, Host Dihoa, overall, physique, 255, prototype monster, frenzied emperor demon, compatibility 20%. His expression turned sly. Smirking, he thought to himself, Captain Lamb, consider this a thank you for the blood ruby you gave me. Thanks to it, my physical strength has increased significantly, even if it took a bit of time to absorb. Alright, next up is a show you guys won't want to miss. A moment later, the rankings for the upcoming matches were announced. Dihoa's next opponent was someone named Long Thao. The loudspeaker announced again, the next match, Anthon High School number 4. Long Thao versus Anthon High School, number 1 Dihoa. The result was no surprise. With just one powerful kick, Dihoa made Long Thao, a big and muscular guy several times his size, cough up fresh blood right there and collapse on the arena floor. The loudspeaker repeated in its familiar tone, Dihoa wins. Every time Dihoa wins, the crowd below erupts in excitement. Cheers and shouts echo throughout the stadium. Dihoa, Dihoa, one kick per match, sharp and strong. This is simply a superhuman one-kick knockout. Too sick. Dihoa clenched his fist tightly, feeling the power surging through his body. The loudspeaker finally announced the official praise. Congratulations to the student from Anthon High School, number 1 Dihoa. Winning all 3 preliminary matches brilliantly, he officially advanced to the next round. After 3 consecutive rounds fought at rocket speed, Dihoa entered the resting area and was immediately surrounded by a crowd of passionate fans. His top-tier fighting style attracted tons of attention, and a flood of invitations kept pouring in. Hey Dihoa, interested in checking out Dongsun University? Lots of perks, you know. Hey Dihoa, add me on Facebook, okay? Hey buddy. Even though we're a private university, our scholarships and financial aid are super generous. Take a look. Dihoa, our university really needs strong talents like you. So have you decided which college you want to apply to? Despite many tempting offers, waiting Dihoa seemed to have made up his mind. He glanced around once his determined gaze settling in the crowd. His voice rang out clearly. Is this the favorite university? Sorry, but my goal is to get into Hoado University. As soon as he said that, the atmosphere instantly shifted. Those who had been friendly suddenly turned cold, their eyes icy. They started throwing sarcastic remarks. Oh, just making it to the regional finals and already acting so proud. When you get knocked out and your dreams shatter, you'll be begging us to take you back. Hoa. If you fail to get into Hoa, do remember to contact me. There'll always be a spot for you. The sudden change in attitude caught Hoa off guard, even a little shocked. He muttered, no way, you guys don't believe in me that much. But Hoa couldn't blame them. Hoado University, the prestigious martial arts school of Ha Kingdom, truly is the holy ground for every young fighter. Yet a strange smile appeared on Hoa's face. He thought to himself, in this second-tier city of Nguyen Thon, only the top scorers in the exam have the right to dream of getting into Hoado. But whatever. In the martial arts world, strength is the ultimate truth. Just wait, when I win the championship, let's see what you say. Just as he escaped the crowd of recruiters, Hoa ran into two serious men in black suits. Blocking the way, one of them showed his official badge, his tone both formal and pressuring. Student Hoa, please cooperate with us. Right now, we need to reassess your martial artist level. Hoa shrugged, barely bothered handing his student ID to the bald man for inspection. The man glanced at the info on the card and gasped in shock. 9th level martial artist. How is that possible? Hoa's file showed that just half a month ago, he was still a 3rd level martial artist. Hoa put his hands on the bald man's shoulders, squinting with a annoyed look. Oh, can't I level up this fast in just a few short months? Are you guys accusing me of cheating? The bald man didn't flinch, continuing. After checking your schedule, we found you frequently visit the E-level secret realm. Why would you go to such a dangerous place right before this crucial exam? Faced with this tough question, Hoa suddenly slipped into the role of a top-tier Hollywood actor. He wore a pained expression. His eyes distant, voice low and sorrowful, but filled with determination. Sorry, sirs, please let me soak in my emotions a bit. Before my father passed away, he told me that, to surpass human limits, I must stop being human. So I never stopped fighting, training myself in the harshest secret realms. During a life-or-death battle, I unexpectedly broke the latent jealousy seal inside my body. Sounds unbelievable, but it's the truth. Hearing Hoa's dramatic explanation, the two inspectors froze, pale, cold sweat pouring down, stammering in disbelief. What you said, you broke the jealousy seal. They immediately dropped their serious attitude, hurriedly turning their backs, mumbling nonstop. No way, this is too absurd. We have to report this to the higher-ups right away. Hoa stood there, his eyes following their retreating backs, teeth clenched, irritation rising inside. Who would have thought you'd accidentally become a target for everyone's watchful eyes? What a pain. He pulled out his phone, scrolling through the feed listlessly, but all the news was flooded with clips of families sending good luck wishes to their kids taking the exam. Son, keep pushing. Daughter, just give it your all. Old King. When you drive back first class, we'll throw a huge party. Hoa leaned back in the lounge chair, feeling a pinch of bitterness and envy. He muttered to himself there were even live interviews with parents, relatives and friends of the candidates. His gaze lingered for a moment, a flicker of loneliness crossing his face. Hoa pressed his lips tight, feeling like no one was cheering for him. He saw himself as a poor orphan tossed around by life's currents. However, he had no idea that in some hidden corner, someone was silently watching him from afar, eyes full of hope and quiet encouragement. Keep going, Hoa, keep going. That was his homeroom teacher, who had agreed to let him self-study at home. After a short break, the announcement speaker blared again, signaling it was Hoa's turn to continue his conquest journey. In the first knockout round, please invite candidates from the number 1 high school, Thon Hoa. This time he had to face a famous student from high school number 3, La Huyen. The moment La Huyen appeared, he immediately drew all eyes and whispers from the stands. That's La Huyen, I heard. He's the top dog at school number 3. La Huyen is a top level 8 martial artist. It's no joke. I heard that guy even awakened a super rare 2nd level demon beast bloodline. His parents are both famous martial artists, so his opponent is seriously unlucky this time. Amid the crowd's cheers and the opponent's arrogant face, Hoa stayed cool and indifferent. He casually scratched his neck and said something that stunned La Huyen. You go first. This challenge, dripping with contempt, hit La Huyen like a slap in the face, making him feel deeply humiliated. Gritting his teeth, La Huyen leaned in his voice, low, deadly aura, radiating. Ha, don't you know who I am? Facing that furious energy, Hoa just shrugged, and replied with a calm tone that was almost provocative. Whether you know or not doesn't change the fight's outcome. La Huyen completely lost control, roaring angrily. his spiritual power exploding violently like it was about to blow up, shaking the entire arena under the insane pressure. Haha, you're not wrong. But in the end, I'm the one who wins. As he finished, he poured all his strength into his right arm, clenching his fist which glowed with fierce energy like a wild beast gone mad. La Huyen screamed and charged forward. Hope your luck's good enough at least. Don't die right here. In that moment, he activated his rare bloodline power. His right arm completely transformed into a massive black demon beast arm, covered with steel-like scales and sharp claws. In a flash, that terrifying arm lunged straight at Dihoa's face, an attack meant to end the fight instantly, but Dihoa wasn't scared at all, not even a bit shaken. He calmly raised his hand and grabbed the charging demon beast hand with his bare palm. Dihoa growled, loud enough for both of us to hear not bad energy, but you're way behind that old dude Hoak Bang. Just by a simple grip you made La Huyen's face go pale with pain. Cold sweat poured down. He trembled like he was facing a real monster. Ah, my ear, he barely managed to say in horror. Stammering, Dihoa didn't miss his chance, raised his other arm, took momentum, and slammed down a hammer-like strike. A terrifying force with blinding spiritual power crashed down, smashing La Huyen hard onto the arena floor, cracking the ground around him like a spiderweb. Dihoa stood there, with a cold, ruthless, and arrogant smile, showing zero signs of being a contestant. Just like that, the referee announced Anthan number 1, Dihoa wins. The crowd buzzed louder and louder, and the spotlight was all on Dihoa, now winning with just one move. Plus the guy he beat was the seeded player La Huyen. Damn, La Huyen's energy was strong, but he's down in no time. His strength just isn't on the same level as the other contestants. The gap is huge. Dihoa still acted all chill, scratching his ear like it was nothing. The girls freaked out. So handsome, babe, I wanna have your babies. The whole arena exploded. Even though he used his hand this time, it only took one move. So strong, no wonder he's a cut above. Dihoa, I'm starting to like you. He's definitely making it to the finals. One after another, injured contestants were carried off the arena, some barely conscious, others knocked out cold. In a hidden corner of the arena, a student quietly watched, eyes sharp as if he'd figured something out. He muttered to himself, full of suspicion, but mixed with a bit of respect. A rare harmony. No wonder he's someone I value. I'm definitely gonna beat him in the finals. Right in the special monitoring room of the Dihoa Do admissions committee, the explosion of that rare harmony immediately caught the attention of many important figures. A powerful man pointed at the big screen, his cold voice booming. Within half an hour, I want his entire file. Instantly, Dongthan's subordinates obeyed without hesitation, acting without any delay. Meanwhile, at another arena, the atmosphere was heating up by the minute. The MC shouted excitedly into the mic. The second match of the promotion round was about to start. The center of attention in the stands was two stunning girls, so eye-catching, they stirred up the whole arena. Damn, a battle between two genius beauties. Gotta watch this closely. One of them was a girl with long wavy hair and a trendy short skirt. Tat Tu Lin, the queen of high school number 2. Her ruby lips curled up arrogantly as she pointed directly at her opponent. Miss Liu, I seriously hate that robot-like expression of yours. Opposite her stood a cold beauty, Lu Thon Truk from high school number 1. Contrary to the taunt, she stayed silent and cold her eyes like an icy lake. Below the stands, the crowd got hyped. I love watching hot babes fight, drooling all over. You pervs, shut up. The referee's whistle blew sharply, signaling the start of the fight. Thon Truk's silence only made Tu Lin more pissed off. Without hesitation, she immediately charged, unleashing a storm of kicks. Alright, let's see if you can keep that face when I pin you to the ground. Thon Truk didn't let herself get cornered, calmly raising her hand to convert energy into a shimmering circle of spiritual power appearing before her. She shouted the secret martial skill, Liurabai Thuat Fu Tat Huyen. That swirling spiritual energy shot out to trap Thu Lin's attacking legs, the blinding light completely suppressing her force. Even though Thu Lin kept jumping high, striking with both hands and feet, Than Truk countered calmly. Mid-air during the intense duel, Thu Lin's eyes flared with murderous intent. Roaring angrily, get serious. Yet clearly, Tu Lin's offense wasn't as effective as usual. As her hand touched Thon Truk's chest, her entire arm was instantly wrapped tight in a spiritual energy circle. Caught off guard, Thu Lin turned pale, panicking inside. Damn, trapped, can't pull my hand out of this wave of energy. Totally losing control. This was the golden chance to finish it. Than Truk said nothing more, focusing all her spiritual power into a punch, bursting with brilliant light. The fight between the two girls not only left the audience breathless, but also fired up the MC. Huyen Hoang Martial Art, a university entrance candidate mastering Huyen Hoang Martial Art. Talent like this doesn't even need to prove itself through exams. She could get special admission to Hodo right away. But Tulin refused to be dominated. She immediately summoned her beast form. Behind her appeared the legs and body of a fierce tiger roaring wildly. Her body completely transformed, sharp fangs and claws blazing with the aura of a wild beast, ready to hunt. This girl had tamed the king-level bloodline of the third stage, Jingying Tiger King. Before he finished speaking, the crowd around was already buzzing. King-level bloodlines are already hard to control, let alone a ferocious beast like the Jingying Tiger. This instantly made the girl's power a huge question mark. No one dared to underestimate her. On the arena, while still holding the advantage, Thiu Lin didn't hesitate to taunt her opponent. "Show me your Yu Min Tuk bloodline." But instead of a bold reply, Thon Truk just casually said, "This is enough." That answer was the last straw, making Thiu Lin explode with rage. "Enough! How dare you talk to me like that? Who do you think can stand against me among the fighters?" The arena suddenly turned into a fierce battlefield. Thiu Lin threw a punch at her opponent's face, but Thon Truk easily dodged. Not stopping there, Thiu Lin launched herself with both legs. Her claws sharpened and enhanced by spiritual energy, sweeping straight at her opponent's lower body. But just then, Thon Truk chanted a spell, raised her hand to her forehead, eyes blazing, and shouted, "Han Nguyen Nak Chi." With just a finger point, a circle of spiritual energy wrapped around Thiu Lin's sharp claws. The MC shouted excitedly into the mic, mixed with tension. The fighting spirits of Lu Thon Truk and Tat Thiu Lin clashed fiercely, the arena filled with a cloud of dust. Who will stand tall in the end? The audience below sat restless, all tense eyes glued to the thick smoke. As the dust cleared, the first figure to appear was Tat Thiu Lin. She stood there, hair fluttering her, face tough, but showing signs of exhaustion. The MC shouted excitedly, "It's Tat Thiu Lin, she's still standing in the arena." But then his voice dropped. "Wait, Thiu." Lin looks off. Her eyes rolled back, face pale, she collapsed like a broken doll, falling to the floor. The only one still standing tall was Liu Thon Truk. The MC was stunned. Tat Thiu Lin collapsed from exhaustion. Liu Thon Truk still stands firm, just using martial skills she can beat Thiu Lin. Both are 9th level fighters. And Thon Truk has awakened a royal level bloodline, truly too strong. No wonder she's a once-in-a-thousand-years prodigy. The announcement boomed clearly. Liu Thon Truk wins. Below on the online forum, a flood of comments exploded. "Damn, Goddess Liu is too strong. Total idol material. I declare her the top scholar of Anthon. Anyone who disagrees, do you even know what her bloodline is? 4th stage, Yu Min Tuk, 4th stage bloodline. What kind of monster is this? Normal fighters can't even touch her." Next up is the quarterfinals draw ceremony. The loudspeaker announced Dihoa, representative of Anthon School 1 is called. He stepped up, calm and unhurried, no stress. Placed his hand into the draw box and pulled out a ball with a letter on it. He held it up, raised an eyebrow and said, "Ah." Just then, another student approached with a friendly smile. "Me too, looks like we're facing each other." The tall guy smiled and introduced himself casually like they'd known each other forever. "I'm Thon Quan, Private Thon Fong School." Dihoa replied briefly. Dihoa of An Thon 1 and Thon Quan pointed to the arena excitedly. "We're match 2, let's watch the first fight." The loudspeaker rang again, signaling the quarterfinal opener Lak Tuk of Private Thon Fong versus So Chao and Thon 1. On the big screen was Lak Tuk, radiating fierce energy, spiritual power flowing like water as he gripped his sword tightly. Then Quan watched and said, "Lak Tuk is strong. He's a repeating student focusing on the Hoa Do exam this year, mastering his awakened bloodline, but facing that, So Chao, he's still helpless. This year, he focused on the Hoa Do exam, mastering the awakening lifeline, but still felt powerless against So Chao." Dihoa couldn't hide his surprise. So Chao, his eyes fixed on the screen, studying that familiar face closely. Then Quan glanced over with a smirk. "Yeah, you don't know him." Right then, the loudspeaker announced the results. So Chao from Anthon High School, number 1 wins. In the coaches area, the principal of Thon Fong Private School clenched his teeth in anger, his hand gripping the armrest so hard it looked like it might break. Damn it, lost right from the start. Dihoa turned to ask his new friend, "How does Lak Tuk compare to you?" Then Quan didn't answer immediately. He chuckled, softly scratched his head, then spoke with a bit of awkward confidence. "Compared to me, I'm the martial arts president of Thon Fong's 12th grade. In terms of fighting skills, even if those 2 teammates teamed up, they couldn't beat me." He glanced at Dihoa and added, "But, in this tournament, I think you're the strongest opponent. Since I was a kid, I've had sharp instincts. I can sense Dihoa like a dormant volcano, hiding a beast inside." Right after that, then Quan smiled relaxedly. "Let's go, it's our turn." The loudspeaker announced the top 8 contestants in the second promotion round. Than Quan from Thon Fong, Private faces Dihoa from Anthon 1. At that moment, the arena's speaker system blared out simultaneously, announcing the quarterfinals of the Anthon University exam are entering a nail-biting phase. The battle between two outstanding candidates, then Kwon and Dihoa. Every clash between them unleashed such massive energy waves that the audience below had to shield their faces to withstand the pressure from the flying fighting aura. The MC couldn't hide his excitement. This was clearly a battle between two evenly matched rivals. In the eye of the energy storm, then Kwon clenched his fists tightly, his cold gaze tracking every move of his opponent. In a split second, he caught sight of blood droplets flying in midair, and immediately realized it was a nosebleed, a signature sign of bloodline power activation. He was triggering something extremely dangerous. Then Kwon hissed, his face darkening with murderous intent, staring at Dihoa and saying, "That's weird, you can directly attack down to the cellular level." Meanwhile, Dihoa maintained a defensive stance, calmly observing. He thought about his opponent. The martial aura could form a barrier, even blocking radiation. This martial art was truly miraculous. Despite facing overwhelming power, Dihoa still smiled with interest, his eyes sparkling. Not giving his opponent any more time to strategize, then Kwon unleashed his full fighting aura throughout his body. The force so strong it shook the ground. From his solid hands, a surge of energy shaped like a giant fiery serpent erupted, its open mouth spewing a fierce, poisonous breath. "Let me show you the Thun family's secret martial art." With that, he shouted the move's name, formed fist, launching two blazing punches like shooting stars, throwing all his strength straight at Dihoa. Dihoa couldn't hide his surprise. Too fast, this wasn't in the plan. In that moment, he couldn't dodge and had to take the hit. The loudspeaker blared amid the chaos. So strong. Dihoa took the hit like a superhuman, but it was the first time he got struck. Now, after that punch, he spat blood on the spot, his face pale, spitting blood enough to show how deadly Then Kwon's formed fist was. Even after taking that heavy blow, Dihoa didn't fall. He pushed himself up from the floor, struggling to stand, his feet sliding on the ground to keep his stance. Then Kwon had no intention of stopping. He charged forward like a beast, his eyes blazing and punches packed with spiritual energy. "Where do you think you're gonna run?" The shout echoed through the stands. Behind the bodyguard stood a massive black bear, radiating fierce killing intent. His body was more enhanced than ever, each step cracking the floor beneath him. Dihoa was once again forced into defense. In that moment, he had to muster all his strength to hold on, buying time to find a chance to counterattack. The bodyguard wasn't just physically strong, he had also fused martial energy, dealing double damage. The previous opponents were all mediocre, none this strong, and none could absorb hits like this. Just as that thought crossed his mind, the bodyguard closed in from behind. Half of his guess was right. "I didn't just inject martial energy into my body, I also locked yours. So you can't use your martial skills." With that, a thunderous punch slammed straight into Dihoa's chest, sending him flying into the beam. The battle was turning into a nightmare for him. Every strike from the bodyguard carried destructive power, like a pack of wild beasts tearing through all at once. Before Dihoa even hit the ground, the bodyguard transformed again into a brutal whirlwind, roaring with the might of a fierce tiger. Like a starving tiger pouncing on prey, he lunged forward, delivering a knockout blow meant to end it all. Blood sprayed midair. The heavy hit made Dihoa cough up blood on the spot, but the bodyguard didn't stop. A crazed satisfaction flared in his eyes. From above, he spread his arms wide like an eagle spreading wings, his whole body radiating a fierce aura. "Dihoa, you can't beat me." Dihoa barely managed to raise both hands to block. The space shook as a massive pillar of spiritual energy slammed down like thunder. As the dust settled, the bodyguard appeared, arms crossed over his chest, grinning as if victory was already in his hands. "Ha ha ha, too easy." The stadium speakers blared. The bodyguard's combo attacks left Dihoa defenseless. Medical staff were ready to rush in, but a deep sound came from the clearing smoke. The bodyguard's eyes widened as he noticed something moving. Then he stepped back, mouth agape. Dark energy surged. A massive burst of power erupted from where Dihoa lay, intense, ominous, and threatening. From the haze, a beast's paw emerged, sharp and solid like metal. "Dihoa, you've fully transformed. Your scaled armor covering your entire body, eyes glowing fiercely like a true beast." He stared straight at the bodyguard, calm eyes but radiating immense pressure. "Your strong bodyguard, and this is your reward. The first person to witness this form of mine." The speaker continued. "High schoolers who transform into beast demons get special exemption from the flower exam." Unexpectedly, besides Lu Thon Truk, Anthon also has a bloodline genius. The entire hall was stunned. Dihoa stepped toward the trembling bodyguard. Waves of pressure radiated from him like a tsunami, making the bodyguard break out in cold sweat. Is this a true beast demon form? His awakened bloodline can reach such a high standard. Dihua said nothing, just advanced, the bodyguard retreating, step by step, truly afraid. The speakers urgently announced each judge, wearing monitoring earpieces. An old professor, annoyed by the strange noise, suddenly stood up, eyes wide in shock, staring at the screen. What's going on? Radiation levels off the charts. The display showed 9,999,999. Right after Dihua unleashed his true beast demon form, the judges immediately detected the danger and without hesitation covered the arena, using martial energy to block the leak of extremely dangerous nuclear energy radiating from his body. In the stands, the atmosphere exploded with a wave of chatter spreading everywhere. Is this the awakening bloodline of the strange fire star? So cool. Anyone know what bloodline he awakened? I study at New Trung heard, it's the nameless bloodline. How can something this strong be nameless? Seeing that Dihua just glanced with proud eyes smirking as he thought. Looks like Lamtin doesn't have the demon beast bloodline. No wonder they don't know. Meanwhile, on the other side, Thun Quan was in full panic, staring at the blood dripping from his nose, gasping and mumbling in fear. Nosebleed again. My martial energy can't block his power. Looks like this fight won't last long. Pushed to the edge. Thun Quan stopped holding back immediately, unleashing all his strength, awakening his direct profession. Behind him appeared the image of a red-nosed monkey dog with a fierce snarl, mouth wide open, emitting a terrifying pressure. Thun Quan's body tensed up, maximizing power to prepare to counter Dihua. The loudspeaker echoed through the stands, announcing an earth-shattering battle, another third-tier king-level bloodline. This exam is full of top-tier fighters. Thun Quan didn't hesitate, combining the monkey dog's strength with Mengza's fiery punch, pointing straight at Dihua, unleashing the fiercest attack since the start of the match. But despite the madness, Dihua remained coldly calm. He didn't dodge, but powered up himself, spiritual energy surging to counter the incoming blow. As they prepared to collide, Dihua shouted martial skill. Thun Quan, keep charging, let's end this with a decisive strike. As the blow landed, Thun Quan froze. If I hadn't dissolved the force in time, my whole arm would have been crushed. Just now I was wild, now I'm embarrassed. At that moment, Dihua stepped forward slowly, but with full confidence. You're great, but sorry you can't change the outcome. The loudspeaker boomed across the stands, grabbing everyone's attention. The quarterfinals of this university exam have revealed a third-tier king-level bloodline, while the other side has a demon beast bloodline so strong it's unidentifiable, a rare spectacle. On the arena, Thun Quan furrowed his brow, focusing intensely on his opponent, calculating silently. After awakening the bloodline, Dihua's strength was unpredictable. I can't suppress his weapon anymore. The only option is to retreat temporarily. But just as he was thinking, Dihua moved each step like thunder, his aura surging close. He rushed forward, claws, sharp cold eyes, smiling with confidence. Hey big guy, stop dreaming. Without giving his opponent a chance, Dihua unleashed a fierce combo with explosive power. Punches like thunder kept pounding Thun Quan's massive body. But Thun Quan wasn't easy to take down. In a flash, he seized an opening to counterattack, throwing a twisting punch wrapped in strong spiritual energy. The flexibility of the strike caught Dihua off guard, locking his arm tight. Instantly, he used the momentum to leap onto the central platform, and a second later, a giant foot slammed down from above, with power enough to crack the entire stage. Yet right in front of him, Dihua still stood firm, not a scratch on him. His eyes shone brightly, arms crossed in a majestic stance. Then he gently lifted his foot off the soil, sinking into the ground coldly, saying, "Next up is me." Right after that, spiritual energy surged around like a storm. Just as he was about to strike, his opponent dropped to his knees, trembling and surrendering on the spot. The sudden move made Dihua freeze, his face confused. Before him, the bodyguard kept bowing repeatedly, not raising his head. "Big bro, I surrender. Big bro, I'm ready." A series of question marks popped up in Dihua's mind. He couldn't understand what just happened. Unable to hold back, he burst out loudly like a kid losing his toy. "You know, sneaking an attack like that pisses me off, right? I haven't even gotten to fight yet. This is killing me." Though annoyed seeing his opponent surrendering, Dihua didn't strike back. He dropped his hands, and the spiritual energy instantly dissipated as he sighed in frustration. Whatever. Forget it." Right after he opened his mouth and expelled a compressed burst of nuclear energy inside him, muttering as he breathed, "Holding it in is so damn uncomfortable." Dihua's body gradually returned to normal. He rubbed his head, muttering as if reminding himself, according to the rules, when one side surrenders, the other side has no right to continue attacking. The loudspeaker announced the match result. The match ended, and Dihua from Anthan High School was the victor. The stands immediately exploded. The crowd went wild, cheering loudly in praise. So badass, Big Bros, unstoppable Big Bros the champ. On online forums, live stream viewers kept buzzing. Sarcastic comments about the bodyguard flooded in. The bodyguard said before the match he would win. The bodyguard's 6 matches didn't even force Dihoa to go all out. What a joke. A bunch of Dihoa's highlight videos started flooding social media. His top-tier moves were compiled into clips with explosive effects and captions. Compilation clips of Big Bros matches. Don't forget to follow me. Dihoa's fan club was instantly formed. The first QQ group quickly filled up. The second and third groups were full within hours. In the eyes of netizens, he was the top scorer of this year's exam. Some even boldly claimed Liu Truk from Sochao wasn't a match. Meanwhile, at Thonfong Private School's leadership area, the principal's face turned purple with rage. He slammed the table and gritted his teeth. Tuk lost. I bet everything on you. How could the bodyguard lose like that? When the bodyguard quietly returned backstage, the principal immediately vented his anger on him. And you dared to surrender. Do you know how much money we invested in you, ungrateful bastard? If you don't pay back, don't even think about college. The bodyguard said nothing, just placed his big strong hand lightly on the teacher's shoulder. The principal recoiled in shock. Stammering, "What do you want to do?" The bodyguard looked down calmly and replied, "I couldn't block that punch." To avoid damaging his foundation, he surrendered at first. If he hadn't backed down, you would have had to take that punch and remember the kindness of your master. Later I'll repay it bit by bit. But remember this well, you can't threaten a fighter stronger than you. The cold words made the master tremble, lips pressed tight, voice shaking. Good, you make a fair point. Meanwhile, the rounds kept updating. The announcement blared through the charged atmosphere. After intense battles, the 4 strongest contenders emerged, and Thon High School number 1 was the big winner, snagging 3/4 of the spots in the quarterfinals. In the leadership area of Sochao High School number 1, the principal was over the moon, grinning like he'd just won the jackpot. He waved his hands, wildly beaming. Looks like old Mr. Liu has been working at the school long enough. It's time for a promotion. At home, the homeroom teacher of Dihoa's class was ecstatic, feeling like he hit the lottery. Dihoa is insanely talented. The loudspeaker buzzed again. This time it was the semi-final match draw. Dihoa stepped up to the podium to draw his match with a calm, uninterested expression, mumbling, "It's G-up again." Another contestant chuckled and replied, "I'm G-up too." Standing before him was a familiar face. The aloof beauty, Liu Truk. Immediately, social media exploded. On the forums, comments popped off like New Year fireworks. "Damn, I've been waiting for this match forever. The most legendary battle in Anthon University's history. Go Goddess Liu. The most anticipated match since the start of the exam. Dika, you gotta beat that guy." Some folks analyzed it pretty thoroughly. I think Goddess Liu has the upper hand. She's mastered 2 mysterious martial arts techniques, totally dominating. But the 4th-tier Yu Min Tuwok bloodline hasn't shown up yet. Her body is a 3rd-tier royal bloodline, while Dihoa was forced to awaken his bloodline. Though it might be 4th-tier compared to Luwu, who's got deep martial arts knowledge and controls a high-level bloodline, it's still unpredictable. The arena's energy hit its peak, the crowd roaring loudly. The atmosphere ready to blow. The referee stepped forward, voice booming. Liu Truk, Anthon High School, number 1. Dihoa. Anthon High School, number 1. The match begins. The moment the referee finished, Dihoa's body exploded with power like he was breaking all limits. A fierce aura radiated from him, shaking the surroundings. Dust swirling everywhere. Truk raised her hand to shield her face, eyes narrowing. Before her stood a dark silhouette, surrounded by blazing energy like a firestorm. 2 flickering flames glowed atop his head. Right from the start, Dihoa showed his dominance. Truk stepped back slightly, her face showing caution under the intense pressure. She stared at him without blinking, whispering inside, "Dihoa, I hope you're strong enough." As the match kicked off, Dihoa immediately unleashed a massive steam cloud, engulfing the entire arena. This opening move was to assert dominance over the girls, leaving the crowd below, stunned and shouting, "What the hell, I can't see a thing." The male MC up high was just as hyped, slapping the table and shouting into the mic, "Liu Truk, the genius girl Lo. How will she handle the dark horse Dihoa in this year's exam? Let's wait and see." Back at the arena, tension was thick. Dihoa eyed his opponent, a girl with a perfect figure emerging through the smoke. Liu Truk had superior martial arts skills, with mysterious techniques. No matter how strong, it was hard to hurt her. But he couldn't underestimate this opponent. He pressed his lips tight, analyzing her in his mind. She's not only a martial arts prodigy, but also has a crazy high combat index. The longer this drags on, the worse it is for me. Gotta go all out from the start. Without hesitation, Dihoa soared up, gathering energy in his palm, and launched a direct attack. He laughed loudly, the light from his strike flashing, showing his determination. But Thon Truk wasn't one to back down. She immediately raised her hands to defend, twisting them together to form a solid shield. Her sharp eyes thought, going on the offensive first, so I'll go on defense and counterattack. Suddenly Dihwa switched tactics, not throwing a punch as expected, but moving at lightning speed. His figure blurred, then suddenly appeared, whipping his tail hard into Thon Truk's waist. The powerful whip curved like a wave. Thon Truk was annoyed, silently cursing him for being so sly and tricking her. She immediately stepped back, dodging, and angrily said, swinging her steel tail with a punch. Dihwa showed no mercy, opening his big mouth wide and roaring, unleashing toxic nuclear energy. Gathering power fiercely, he jumped up, fists clenched, arching like a mantis shrimp, ready to strike Thon Truk. The fight was live-streamed on the forum. Many watched and commented, "Oh, poor goddess, this is a life-or-death battlefield, no room for lies, she's in trouble, this move will throw her off her game." Dihwa's aggressive close combat leaves Thon Truk no chance to escape. She's trying hard to resist his dominance. Both were nearly evenly matched. Dihwa landed a strong hit to the face, but Thon Truk dodged. On the forum, viewers noted Dihwa's weapon pushed back Thon Truk. This time she might escape, but immediately Dihwa aimed straight for her stomach, throwing a punch that made her curl up to endure it. Dihwa didn't stop generating a shockwave. Thon Truk was blasted away. Even though she's female, Dihwa didn't hesitate to go all out. On the forum, someone commented, "No way she's escaping his weaponized claws." Dihwa's relentless attacks targeted her directly. He raised his sharp claws, eyes gleaming dangerously, unafraid to taunt his opponent. "It's not going to be that easy." The young man spun around, swinging a powerful swirling energy strike at Thon Truk. She had to keep backing up to avoid damage. Dihwa's hand clenched with a smug grin. Thon Truk just entered the fight, and was already enduring non-stop attacks. Her eyes widened in terror, weaponized claws. Just as she thought that a fierce strike from Dihwa rushed at her like a storm, Thon Truk couldn't react in time. She had to spring and arch her body to dodge the heavy blow flying through the air. But just as she looked up, Dihwa appeared right in front of her. Flashing a twisted smile, his face pitch black, fists clenched, forming two blazing energy spheres. He said, "Don't run, classmate Lo." Without hesitation, Dihwa, like an emotionless monster, relentlessly hammered at Thon Truk's chest, arms wide, only the brilliant light from his powerful punches visible. Thon Truk still hadn't had a chance to counterattack, trying to defend, and wait, her eyes sneaking glances at Dihwa's non-stop assault. Secretly terrified, thinking, can he not get tired with such high-intensity attacks? His stamina's insane. She thought to herself, holding two mysterious martial arts. One, the Liu family secret technique, Fu Hoa Hoa, On Tien defense. And two, the Hono Nguyen Engjok, Chi heavenly attack. If she could use either, she could escape being overwhelmed. But unfortunately, Dihwa gave her no chance. If she couldn't hold her ground, she'd be pushed out of the arena. Thon Truk was pouring all her strength into resisting Dihwa's brutal blows. Suddenly, a feather appeared on his fist. This feather carried a strange magical aura. Dihwa tried to clench his fist tighter to avoid its effect, but it made him a bit uneasy. Looking at it, he didn't understand what was going on. Stepping out, Thon Truk couldn't keep getting overwhelmed, so she decided to tap into the energy from her eyes. Her eyes slowly transformed into the dark gaze of a wild beast. Gotta use my last card, she thought silently. Suddenly, feathers began to sprout, one, then two, carrying a powerful spiritual energy that Dihwa could feel. Clearly, these weren't something you could mess with easily. Then, Thon Truk appeared before him, no longer the weak girl he knew. She morphed into a fierce beast form, with two huge wings spreading out behind her, soaring up like a giant bird. Dihwa looked up, stunned by this transformation. Thon Truk, with the human Tuk bloodline, spread her left and right wings wide, her body radiating a powerful energy. The loudspeaker blared, announcing that for the first time, Liu Thon Truk had awakened the human Turk bloodline. Up until now, she'd only been holding back. But now she could truly unleash her power. Thon Truk lifted her face, eyes tense as she stared at Dihwa, her hands clenched tight. Power exploding, she whispered seriously, "Dihwa, watch out. In this state I can't control my strikes." Facing her fierce aura, Dihwa remained unshaken. He looked at Thon Truk, smirked with disdain and replied, "Ah, that's cute, since I've only been using 50% of my strength so far." Before Dihwa could finish, Thon Truk immediately used her human Tuk power to surround his body, draining his energy. Caught off guard, Dihwa had to pause for a beat. Thon Truk seized the moment, circling behind him and raising her hand to gather a massive energy, ready to deliver a decisive blow. But the truth was, everything was exactly what Dihwa expected. Instead of dodging, he suddenly spun around, clenched his fists, and channeled all his strength to counterattack. His face twisted into a terrifying grin. The fight between the two contestants became intense. They charged at each other like it was a life-or-death battle. Two hands, two powers clashing head-on. The force of their punches was insanely strong, shaking the entire arena violently. Both wanted to be the winner. The shockwave from their powerful collision even affected the audience below. Shouts erupted. So crazy. The impact's insane. I can't even open my eyes. As things settled, Thon Truk dared to open her eyes. She saw a horrifying scene ahead. Hoa, after that clash, had transformed. He stood there, his body mutated limbs turning into monstrous beasts, radiating a nuclear-level energy with thunder crackling everywhere. His skin had turned into an iron armor shell. Hoa looked at Thon Truk, eyes blazing, his lips exuding a radiant energy, like a monster devoid of any feeling. At Hoa's position, a massive energy burst suddenly exploded, thunderous and fierce, forcing the loudspeaker to blare non-stop. This was the dramatic semifinal, where all eyes were fixed on the beautiful rival in front of him. The energy radiating from Hoa made the air suffocating. Dangerous energy waves rising high. The loudspeaker continued. What's happening? It seems Hoa's demonic beast core is charging up power. Hoa suddenly transformed again, shifting into an impressive new form. Hard scales sprouted from his back, emitting powerful energy that shattered the arena floor beneath him. The MC couldn't take his eyes off his back. Hard scales sprouted from his back, radiating powerful energy that shattered the floor beneath him. The MC couldn't take his eyes off his back. In the place where the massive scales held nuclear energy, his spine protruded, drawing in a colossal energy source rushing toward his mouth. He bent down, opened his mouth, and unleashed a swirling column of power, charging straight at Thon Truk. Around him, shock waves glowed. That column of energy soared away, making Thon Truk unable to move in time. She had to use her large wings to shield herself, curling up in anxiety. Her eyes, filled with spiritual power, clearly showed her tension. Hoa's massive energy column kept advancing, showing no sign of stopping. And the moment it hit Thon Truk's wings, a fierce explosion erupted, scattering radiation everywhere. Thon Truk used her bloodline, awakening Vu-On counterattacked, but her feathers were very effective under that pressure. The scene became chaotic, and the loudspeaker blared, "Not good." Hoa's breath was disrupting Thon Truk's feathers. Hoa showed no mercy, but Thon Truk wasn't an easy opponent to break. Spectators in the stands turned pale, affected by the whirlwind from the fight. Suddenly, before them, bright golden spots appeared like glowing honeycombs. These shields held firm, effectively blocking Hoa's energy. His power struck the shields, causing terrifying explosions. The shields were created by Hoang Kin, the mayor of Anthon. He stood tall, looking elegant, using his inner strength to protect the match. His gaze fixed on the battle, calmly saying, "Watch closely. The strongest top scholar in Anthon's history will be born today." From the upper stands, cheers and applause roared like crashing waves. The MC with slicked back hair shouted excitedly into the mic, luckily, thanks to Mayor Hoang protecting the audience. Back on the arena floor, bright red drops of blood spilled on the ground. These drops came from Thon Truk, who had taken a brutal hit from Hoa's power. The girl looked battered, her wings torn apart, with only a single piece of her outfit miraculously still hanging on. Thon Truk collapsed, her lips trembling as she struggled to speak. "He broke through my Yumin Turk defense with just one strike. Can I really beat him?" The whisper echoed in her mind. Since childhood, Liu Thon Truk had carried a heavy burden passed down through generations of her family. She was the hope to revive the Liu clan, forbidden to lose. The ancestors of the Liu family had been watching her for ages. "Don't let us down. Always stay strong." But inside, Thon Truk was just a fragile girl. Her mother's words still echoed in her heart. "Thon Truk, I poured all my heart into you to revive our family. You must not be stubborn." She had never been allowed to decide for herself, always feeling weak. "Mom, I can't breathe anymore." Her helpless eyes looked up at her opponent. She whispered softly, "I'm so tired." Hoa stood before her, strong and confident, his eyes like those of a victor. Thon Truk looked at him, telling herself, Hoa is really too strong. Facing an opponent like that, losing wouldn't be surprising. She resolved to fight to the end, pouring all her remaining strength into the battle. Though her body was covered in wounds, if I purposely show a weakness, Hoa will notice and finish me off. Losing this fight means I can't face my family anymore. Maybe dying here would be better. Thon Truk charged at Hoa, planning to land a light strike on his chest so he could end the fight quickly. But Hoa didn't move. Thon Truk looked up in surprise and asked, "Why aren't you dodging?" Hoa looked at her with cold eyes, his voice emotionless. "Classmate Thon Truk, why has your fighting spirit completely vanished?" Caught off guard, Thon Truk widened her eyes, her gaze tense and furious, her face darkening. Do you really see me as your rival? I don't want to win this top scholar title by being a coward. Thon Truk was stunned by Dihoa's strength, her eyes filled with mixed emotions. Fear of what was unfolding before her. Dihoa showed no mercy, lunging forward and throwing a powerful punch at Thon Truk's face. She helplessly raised her hand to block the blow. Dihoa didn't stop unleashing a flurry of strong kicks that knocked Thon Truk down, leaving her unable to endure. She shouted, "You bastard! No one's ever dared hit me like this since I was a kid." Despite being battered, Thon Truk tried to yell, "I was already willing to let you win, so why do you insist on chasing me?" By this point, Thon Truk's tolerance had reached its limit. Her hidden power erupted, and the energy field around her flared fiercely. Thon Truk screamed, "Don't hit a girl in the face, you jerk." Finally, Dihoa stopped, his pupils shining as he looked at her with a smirk. "Exactly. If you don't want to get hit in the face, then stay sharp." It seemed Dihoa helped Thon Truk unlock her highest power. Her current form was stronger than ever. Her wings fully restored, even larger than before, radiating a powerful and deadly aura. She sighed, her gaze sharp, determined to Dihoa. "As you wish, I'll use my strongest form to defeat you." Thon Truk had now reached her peak form. Her wings spread wide, glowing brilliantly and majestically. Dihoa watched, unable to hide his admiration for the power contained within. He smirked, eyes gleaming with amusement. "So you finally revealed your true demon beast form. Now this gets interesting." Dihoa quickly activated his demon lord form, his body tensed, every cell turning into tough scales, blue flames blazing all over, creating an intense energy source. The young man grinned with satisfaction, ready for what promised to be an epic fight. He opened his mouth wide, like a beast, took a deep breath and roared loudly. "Then I won't hold back either." Dihoa leapt up, the power from his feet exploding, shaking the ground beneath him. Thon Truk didn't stay still. Quickly sensing Dihoa's incoming attack, her eyes sharpened. She couldn't just wait to be hit without fighting back. Immediately from Thon Truk's position, a fierce energy vortex appeared. It rapidly sucked in, forming a giant tornado, its aura shining brightly. Dihoa charged forward with unstoppable force, kicking up a thick cloud of dust. She didn't hesitate, inhaled deeply, and opened her mouth to unleash a powerful energy field. Shockwaves burst out, matching his strength blow for blow. Thon Truk poured all her energy into this battle. When the two forces collided, the entire area shook violently. At that moment, the sonic wave from Thon Truk's mouth swept forward. Dihoa reacted instantly. He stared at her, voice serious. "You think you're the only one who can scream?" Thon Truk was familiar with this move and wasn't scared. She raised both hands ready to take the hit and said, "Same old trick. But this time I won't back down. I'll face you head on." Earth element energy activated. At the same time, Thon Truk gathered all her strength into her hands, forming a glowing energy sphere. The sphere lit up and instantly transformed into countless arrows, shooting straight at Dihoa. The battle between the two was getting insanely intense, and no one could predict the outcome. In the stands, everyone was on edge. An announcement blared over the speakers. As Dihoa's earth atom burst, and Thon Truk's human bloodlust clashed, creating two fierce shockwaves. The crowd gripped their hands nervously and stood up excitedly. "This isn't good. The force of this collision is way beyond what two fighters can control." To protect the audience, Unthan's mayor, Hoang Kin, had to use his power to raise 3 massive protective walls. These walls were meant for defense, but when hit by the combined power of both fighters, they shattered in an instant. After the two energy pillars collided, the stands fell silent from the shockwave. Wait, those walls were made by the mayor. Everyone stared at the rubble left behind, stunned by the sheer power they had just witnessed. Mayor Hoang Kin saw the protective wall he created get destroyed in a flash, and he couldn't help but feel worried. Without his intervention, everyone might have been affected. He thought to himself, this time, the 3 layers of the divine earth veins were set up too hastily, not as secure as usual, allowing Dihoa and Thon Truk's attacks to clash head-on. Who would have thought this year's exam would have 2 contestants surpassing all expectations? Back to the arena. Thon Truk was battered, her slender hand weak and bleeding like a river. Her breath was heavy, and Teotui's face showed her right arm was completely wrecked. She had returned to human form, her body covered in wounds and weak, but her eyes remained determined. Thon Truk struggled to speak each word. Even the demonic beast's true strength is drained now. She lifted her head, her gaze fixed determinedly on Dihoa. Even knowing the situation was hopeless, she refused to give up. "I can still fight." Dihoa stomped hard on the floor, appearing before her. He had returned to normal, showing no signs of injury. As for Thon Truk, her outfit was barely enough to cover her, and her right arm was ruined. Thon Truk looked at Dihoa, eyes full of doubt. "My attack clearly hit you. so why aren't you hurt at all? Dihua looked at her calmly, speaking without emotion. If I hadn't removed the radiation on you in time, you'd be crippled by now. His words showed he attacked, but still left her a way out. Thontruk bit her lip trembling, then turned her face up, eyes wide, tears streaming like a waterfall. I never wanted to fight this hard, so why do you keep pushing me? Dihua sat down, gently looking her over from head to toe. Silent at first. After a moment he spoke slowly, dropping the usual sarcasm for seriousness. Do you really not want to fight, or are you just stubbornly refusing to admit your desire to win? While you risked everything, I felt your hunger for victory. Thontruk stared at him speechless. Her small mouth just moved slightly, thinking to herself, yeah, earlier, I really wanted to beat him, so I dropped my guard and went all out. But why did I do that? I clearly hate fighting and just want to lose quickly. Yet, in that moment of battle, I truly felt it, the thrill of fighting for myself, not for anyone else. Right then, the warm hand of Dihua gently rested on her shoulder. Thontruk blushed, looking up with strange thoughts about him stirring in her heart. You beat me to a pulp. Is this how a gentleman acts? You beat me up, and now you're healing me. Dihua channeled energy into her arm, speaking as he worked. You carry too many distractions in battle. Thontruk stared at her hand in disbelief. The wounds and radiation marks had vanished without a trace. Dihua wasn't arrogant like the others. He looked at her with genuine respect and said softly, but you're still the strongest opponent I've ever faced. Then he turned and smiled lightly. Next time, if there's a chance, I'd love a pure one-on-one fight with you. Thontruk's heart suddenly fluttered. She blushed like a ripe tomato, her eyes sparkling as she couldn't look away from Dihua. Standing in the arena, his flawless victory earned everyone's full respect. As the dust settled, the announcer's voice boomed. The first semi-final had ended. Dihua, number 1 from Anthon High School, was victorious. On the big screen, the image of Dihua's next opponent appeared clearly. The announcer's voice was filled with excitement. After Dihua defeated Thontruk, So Chao, also as expected, secured a win. The crowd was heating up and now the high school finals were drawing near. This showdown between Dihua and So Chao, two students from the same Anthon First High School, began attracting a massive audience. The live viewers skyrocketed to over 496 million, creating a huge wave of excitement and anticipation. After thorough preparation, So Chao stood tall, gripping his energy-emitting sword tightly. His sharp gaze swept over Dihua. Without a hint of hesitation, "Please teach me," Dihua responded with a dangerously confident smile. His face lit up, eyes gleaming with excitement and energy. "Bring it on." Without making Dihua wait, So Chao launched the first attack. He swung his sword, gathering energy, leaping high and striking with powerful force, delivering a fierce blow. But Dihua stood still, completely unfazed. He crossed his arms, feeling no strength at all from So Chao's strike. He shouted at him. Instantly, a powerful energy column shot out, shattering So Chao's entire attack. The shockwave pushed everyone back easily, overwhelming his opponent. So Chao couldn't stay steady, shielding himself with his hand just to keep his vision clear. Holding his glowing blade, he said with hidden meaning, "Too lazy to find my clones. Just brutally knock all my clones away with a simple move." So Chao realized his opponent was too strong, and immediately felt the huge gap in their power. My defense simply can't stand against Dihua. Among peers his age who could fight him hand to hand, truly a monster. So Chao didn't lose heart. Focusing his mind and determined to change tactics, his eyes shifted color, showing his resolve as he switched to a new strategy. "If I can't fight close range, then I'll fight you from afar," he shouted loudly, awakening his bloodline. Moments later, So Chao's body transformed into a giant divine dragon, powerful and ferocious. His form distorted with changes to his arms and head, presenting an imposing image. He focused energy into his hand and unleashed a fierce attack, shouting, "Cold Demon Dragon." This breathtaking scene amazed the audience, who flooded the live stream with praise and comments. Damn, So Chao actually created a massive ice mountain, truly the reincarnation of the ice demon dragon. So Chao hovered mid-air, facing Dihua, his whole body radiating intense icy energy. The crowd kept cheering him on to defeat the great demon king Dihua. "Come on bro, you got this ice power." The giant ice mountain So Chao created covered the entire arena floor, completely sealing off Dihua. The stands shook with the sheer power So Chao displayed. But just as So Chao felt his body heavily affected by the ice energy, he only dared to think silently. Suddenly, "This ice energy's burst is hitting me pretty hard." Meanwhile, the announcement speaker blared, making everyone even tenser. The ice mountain was slowly melting. Sure enough, Dihua's terrifying power had begun to melt the ice mountain. A powerful atomic energy beam shot from his mouth, completely destroying So Xiao's ice mountain. So Xiao was stunned, eyes wide in disbelief. How could it be broken so easily? Immediately, So Xiao reacted fast, creating another ice mountain to block the attack. But the energy storm kept rushing at him. A huge explosion erupted, everything engulfed in energy and dust. After the chaos settled, one of Daihoa's spiked legs stomped hard on the floor as he coldly said, "Ice Demon Dragon, your power doesn't work on me. Looks like I've got you completely countered." So Xiao sighed, fully aware of the huge gap in strength. The power difference was just too vast. Daihoa said, "Take my final move. This is the ultimate martial technique I originally saved for Luthon Truk, but now I'll use it to beat you." So Xiao tensed up his great sword glowing, energy charging into the blade. So Xiao shouted as he swung the mighty sword down a deadly strike. A loud bang echoed, shaking the entire arena. Moments later, drops of red blood began falling onto the arena floor, signaling the tension wasn't over yet. Daihoa raised his strong, spiked hand before his eyes, blood dripping from it. But his voice showed no fear. "Wait till you get a better sword, maybe then you'll have a chance." But the biggest shock wasn't his words. It was So Xiao's face turning pale, purple. Unable to believe, his sword had been completely destroyed. My sword's broken. What chance do I have now?" Daihoa responded with his usual mocking grin while watching his nearly desperate opponent. "Yeah, your chance is just a bit better than some noobs." He fully understood his own power, and seeing So Chao realize the situation, just a small change was enough. So Chao raised his hand high and declared, "I admit defeat." The battle ended suddenly and quietly like that. The announcement speaker blared, "Enthon entrance exam, Daihoa wins." He stood there, scratching his head awkwardly amid the dust and wreckage of the arena. Never before had live stream viewers been this hyped. Whoa, I wasn't wrong about him. That dude's insanely strong. So Chao is powerful, but nothing compared to Daihoa. Praise flooded social media, and Daihoa's victory image quickly went viral. Likes kept pouring in. "Daihoa, this dark horse is seriously unstoppable." Everyone joyfully shared this win, especially the Anthan students, who witnessed this historic moment. With this victory, Daihoa became the strongest top scorer in Anthon's history. Your name is plastered on every billboard in the city. And now, as the forums are buzzing, the congratulations keep pouring in non-stop. In the stands, everyone is cheering wildly, unable to hold back their emotions. Right at this moment, the MC and Huang Qin step onto the stage, pointing at Daihoa proudly, saying, "After 3 intense days of battle, the Anthon 24th exam has found our top scholar. That person is Daihoa from Anthon First High School." Daihoa with a shy smile stands there scratching his head while the MC continues. "Classmate, Daihoa, I heard your strength comes from long-term accumulation. So classmate Daihoa, do you have anything to share?" He's a bit nervous, thinking to himself, "Wow, even a dork like me can speak so smoothly." After a moment, Daihoa calmly smiles. "Ahem, first I have to thank my teacher. He never gave up on me even when I was at my lowest. It was him who helped me overcome my limits." The camera shifts to the homeroom teacher, clutching the TV, tears streaming down. Sob, "Honestly, I don't deserve your praise. Daihoa, as a teacher, I failed to notice your potential, and I'm truly sorry." Before he could finish, Daihoa hears the principal waving and calling him over. The principal, he panics, thinking. The principal signals then whispers, 2 million dong. Daihoa, for declaring a bit of our Anthon First High, we award you a 2 million dong scholarship. Daihoa's eyes light up at the amount, and he immediately replies into the mic, "Oh wow, thank you to my beloved school. Thank you, dear principal. Without your wise leadership, I wouldn't be who I am today." Then, Daihoa raises his hand, high, full of spirit, continuing, "Finally, I want to thank myself. Without my effort and intelligence, I wouldn't have this glory." Right then, a system notification pops up. "Congratulations, user, you have earned the title of Top Scholar. Reward 1 random ability draw." Daihoa is surprised eyes, sparkling thinking, Top Scholar title, so there's an achievement system too. In the stadium corridor after winning the Top Scholar title in the exam, Daihoa runs like he's being chased by dogs. Behind him, a noisy swarm of reporters buzzes like bees around honey. Questions keep flying at him from all sides. "Daihoa, do you feel pressure being the valedictorian? How did you improve so fast in just half a year? Are you planning to enter Hoado University?" The reporters don't stop, relentlessly grilling him. Despite trying his best to escape, Daihoa can't dodge their sharp questions. "Stop chasing, I gotta pee," he mumbles, almost about to soil himself but still stubbornly keeps running. The reporters don't let up. One catches up, shoves a mic in his face, and keeps asking, Dehoa, who do you think is prettier, Lu Thon Truk or Thai Tio Lin, or do you prefer Thun Quan or Sur Chao? Even while rushing away, Dehoa shows no reaction. His face darkens, clearly exhausted. But then he whispers, he doesn't have time to waste on these reporters. He speeds up, leaving them behind. Their regretful calls echo Dehoa, wait one last question. Entering the basketball arena, Dehoa finally escapes the reporters. He stands panting fists, clenched, smiling smugly to himself. Ah, finally escaped from those guys. Turns out the monster sample isn't unique. You can actually draw more from the system rewards. Lost in the thrill of victory, suddenly, a shadow appeared before him. Dehoa, congrats on snagging the top spot. Dehoa spun around, panicked thinking, are there reporters here too? But no, the man in front of him wasn't a reporter like he thought. This guy politely took off his hat carrying a mysterious briefcase, flashed a friendly smile and greeted, don't get me wrong, I'm not a reporter, I'm from Hoado. His serious gaze locked onto Dehoa as he continued, let's talk about your gene lock issue. Dehoa was a bit confused, didn't rush to answer. Gene lock, he thought to himself, I haven't unlocked any genes, my powers come from the monster samples. He knows my abilities, but who is he? Suspicion grew about this mysterious man. The man calmly put his hat back on and said, about the gene lock, you're obsessed with your father, right? Dehoa immediately replied, yeah, I recalled the original owner's memories, so I can't deny that. The man pulled out a stack of papers from his briefcase and said, Dehoa, aren't you curious? A regular taxi driver like your dad knows words totally unrelated to his job. That question made Dehoa think hard. Could it be that his dad was a hidden master? The man continued, showing a sealed document in front of Dehoa. Because of your special case, Hoado can decrypt a classified file. Dehoa quickly opened the document, barely skimming before checking it thoroughly. He saw info about Prometheus, a research institute once leading gene studies at Lam Tin, but was locked down after a major incident. Gene lock technology was their key project. Dehoa now understood why this man came to him. So you guys think my dad was a senior researcher at Prometheus, and I'm their secret product? The man approached Dehoa and added, don't worry, the government won't give you a hard time. I'm here just to make you understand the situation. You're involved, so you need to know. Dehoa replied calmly, big bro, I'm way calmer than you think. The man continued, you're a national priority target and we'll protect you. Dehoa smiled, eyes showing some satisfaction. Then I'll take my leave. He felt a bit full of himself, realizing he was getting more famous, but trouble wasn't far behind. Haha, this world's so practical. He laughed out loud in the schoolyard, then looked at the man from Hoado. Softly said, then I'll take my leave. Dehoa clasped his hands. You won first place in this exam, and not just that, you also got a scholarship of 2 million plus 800,000 in prize money. But what pumped you up the most was the chance to draw new monster samples. That feeling was so hype, you couldn't hold back, excited to the point of exploding, thrilled to the bone. Dehoa thought to himself, couldn't wait any longer, quickly summoned the system. Instantly, a circle of energy appeared, spinning before him like a mysterious door opening. He stood there, eyes glued to the strange glowing ring swirling in front of him. Hypnotized, he blurted out, I can't wait any longer. Before Dehoa, the energy circle spun, emitting a magical light, engulfing the whole space. He stood there, eyes wide, dizzy from the appearance of a superhuman transformation, a bizarre figure like a human skeleton emitting thick smoke. The system continued, displaying stats, D-level ability, supergiant transformation, 60 meters, giant transformation ability, high heat emission, evolutionary form, primal personality manifestation, 1% compatibility. Dehoa stared intently at what was in front of him. Supergiant transformation. He wondered, then suddenly remembered something, eyes wide open. He thought to himself, if combined with the Mad Emperor Demolap Berserk sample, the abilities between models could stack. What would happen if a colossal titan merged with the Mad War Demon Emperor Demolap? Immediately, before Dehoa appeared, the image of a giant titan combined with Demolap's power, a muscular and fierce body with a long tail sweeping through space. He realized he was facing a true monster emperor. Scene shifted to a dark room, where a large man was talking on the phone. Brother Hoak Long, you mean you won't take any missions from now on? The voice on the phone echoed. The man calmly replied, right, cancel all schedules. The response from the other side was respectful. Yes, I understand. On the table were marks from physical impact, as if someone caused trouble. The man then pressed his large index finger down hard, his rough face showing clear anger. Mood extremely irritated, as if trying to hold back his rage. A voice from outside the space announced, sorry? We couldn't find your little brother's body in the secret realm, but at the last signal point where he disappeared, radioactive contamination traces were detected. The man was silent for a moment, then muttered, "Bro, I told you not to get involved with the underworld. Why didn't you listen? Mom told me to take care of you." On the TV screen, the competition results were announced. The Anthon final Dihoa won. The man looked at the screen with obvious excitement. He stepped closer to the TV, as if wanting to pat Dihoa's head. Dihoa really is a rare genius of Anthon. Hoado would definitely compete for him, but he also admitted regret. Unfortunately, they won't wait for him to enroll. Back to Dihoa's house. A package had been delivered. He was training martial arts and hurried out to receive the package. Who sends me stuff when I'm about to enter the secret realm to test a new sample like this? Dihoa pulled out the letter. His name was written on it. The letter read, "According to Hoado Central Academy's investigation this afternoon, a new secret realm crack will open at Hongnoi-o and Mat Village. Predicted level C. I plan to explore it. Want to join? Signed So Chow." After reading the letter, Dihoa shivered. His face scrunched up like he couldn't believe it. No way people still use handwritten letters in this era. Or is he also a time traveler? Scene shifted to Hong Thu, Anthon Mountain, a place beautiful and majestic in its own way. Tons of people gathered here, not just many but a huge crowd. Everyone was mentally preparing for battle at full strength. Dihoa looked at the scene pale-faced from the massive crowd, at least 1,000 people. The new secret realm was indeed very attractive. As soon as he appeared, So Chow noticed and approached Dihoa. Dihoa responded politely, "Oh So Chow." So Chow saw Dihoa smile brightly. "You're stronger again, huh?" Dihoa forced a friendly smile. Thinking to himself, didn't expect this guy to be so sensitive. I used scholarship money to buy some gene vials to boost compatibility to 35%. Even low-level samples have advantages, fast effects. After looking around Dihoa, casually starting a convo, "Which school are you aiming for?" Sujo didn't look at him, closed his eyes and gave a short reply. Hoadu's answer made Dihoa smile, then he added, "So, we'll still be schoolmates later." But he quickly sensed something was off with Sujo's mood. Just as Dihoa was lost in thought, a crack suddenly appeared in the sky. A strange space gate opened, grabbing everyone's attention. The secret realm was about to open. Shouts and chaos erupted. A shockwave hit suddenly as a monster crawled through the space crack. It was a three-headed vulture, with massive wings lunging to attack the crowd below. A martial artist down there excitedly pointed up and shouted, "The secret realm's open, brothers. Let's take down this demon beast and merge with the realm." The group of martial artists immediately gathered, channeling their energy, ready to fight. Their moves unleashed all at once, fierce like a powerful army. The three-headed vulture was strong, but couldn't withstand the martial artists' combined power. In just a moment, it was torn apart. The scene showed only a few feathers left as the fierce fighters kept attacking. At this point, Dihoa stepped into the secret realm, entering a wild, unfamiliar forest. The trees looked different, and the heavy scent of blood made him mutter, "The blood smells way too strong." Damn, he realized the beast tide. That savage creature had been waiting here for us a long time. He quickly ordered all martial artists following the nation's law to prioritize killing demon beasts, fighting against the beast tide. In a flash, mutated monsters with skull heads but fleshy bodies jumped to attack. The martial artists who just entered the secret realm weren't scared at all. Everyone was ready to fight, unleashing all their energy to counter the fierce assault. Sujo didn't stand aside either. He charged in with his sword, raising his hand high and shouting, "Bloodline power, atomic burst fist." His powerful strike, combined with the sword's strength, smashed into two monsters charging forward, creating a giant ice mountain that stopped them dead. Right then, a monster tried to attack Sujo from behind. Seeing that, Dihoa quickly used his energy, firing a strong beam that pierced the monster, blowing it up mid-air. Sujo quickly turned back grateful, saying, "Thanks a lot." With Dihoa's help, the monsters were swiftly wiped out. The ground was left covered with bones, and their red blood splattered everywhere. Dihoa turned to Sujo, calmly saying, "None of the demon beasts in this secret realm know how to fight." Sujo looked at the monsters Dihoa had destroyed and couldn't help but feel scared. "Dihoa, you've taken down so many demon beasts without losing." He marveled, feeling like Dihoa was a destructive storm, pushing back all creatures and destroying everything. Dihoa kept moving nuclear energy light, radiating from him, making the space around feel completely purified. Everyone watching was shocked by Dihoa's overwhelming power. Damn, how could he fight so fast? Could there be a high-level martial artist helping them? Another fighter said, "No way." Among them is the top scorer of Anthan University's entrance exam. The university's top scorer, with such demon beast killing skills. The crowd was stunned, realizing Dihoa wasn't just a regular beginner martial artist. People quickly gathered in front of Dihoa, cheering and calling to lead the pack of beasts toward the top scorer. A moment later, a shout rang out, "The Beast Tide leader has been defeated, we won." The Beast Tide finally began to retreat. Suzhou breathed a sigh of relief, sweat soaking his weariness. At least the first wave of the Beast Tide was overcome. Initially more than 1,000 fighters gathered, but now only about 800 remained, not counting the casualties. Speaking of which, Dihoa laboriously carried the huge bags of stones left by the monsters, tiredly approaching Suzhou. "Suzhou, tell me, how am I supposed to collect all this?" Suzhou was surprised by Dihoa's greed, and asked, "Why did you take so many demon cores?" Then Suzhou took out a ring. "This is my space ring, just put the stuff in here." Dihoa saw the ring and grinned with satisfaction. A space ring, worth tens of thousands of gold ingots. Suzhou didn't expect him to be a secretly rich boss. At that moment, someone announced that the martial arts leader had arrived, and both looked toward the voice. People around told the newcomer about Dihoa. Luckily, he destroyed the leader monsters, or we would have been exhausted and dead in the Beast Tide. Everyone looked at the new figure with admiration. He was tall, covered in tattoos, and immediately spoke. "Hello, you're the top scorer of the Anthan University entrance exam, right? I'm the squad leader of the Silver Wolf Martial Troop in Anthan." He stepped closer to Dihoa, extending his hand for a handshake. "I just heard from the team members about your heroic deeds. Would you like to join our martial arts team? If you join, it won't affect your university studies. On the contrary, you'll get many other perks." Martial arts leader. "I'm ready to accept you as an S-rank member of the team." Everyone was impressed, buzzing with excitement. This was a great opportunity, because without the support of a strong martial troop, a fighter's career would be hard to sustain, especially in Ha Kingdom, where the Silver Wolf groups are also very powerful. Moreover, S-rank membership in the Silver Wolf team is something even Hoadu University students rarely get. Just then, a girl riding a black tiger approached. She wore a seductive outfit, her strong appearance stunning everyone. She said, "Martial arts leader, how come you're so fast, coming here to snatch people first?" Then she turned to Dihoa, seriously saying, "Classmate Dihoa, join our Chengda martial troop. Although Chengda is smaller than Silver Wolf, I guarantee if you join, you'll get 15% of our monthly cultivation resources." Her invitation stirred the crowd into a frenzy. Despite both the martial arts leader and the girl inviting enthusiastically, Dihoa remained cold. He turned away calmly, saying, "Sorry, but I'm not planning to join any troop right now." The young man shook the martial arts leader's hand. The leader, though a bit disappointed, politely replied, "No worries, Dihoa, we invited you to make friends. So if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to contact the Silver Wolf team." The girl also spoke up. "The Chengda troop is always ready to help too." Dihoa frankly answered, "Even if I don't join, making friends is good." However, the martial arts leader couldn't help but wonder, "Did you just use that hand to pick your earwax?" Dihoa just smiled in response. "Don't mind it." At that moment, Suzhou approached Dihoa, confidently saying, "The Beast Tide has been pushed back. Now we can explore on our own. This is a giant forest. First, let's climb a tree to get an overview. Then plan our next move." Dihoa simply replied with 2 words, "Okay." As soon as he said that, both of them shot off, racing like the wind. Suzhou was stunned by Dihoa's speed. He just couldn't keep up, too fast. After a while, they stopped on top of red-leaf trees. Suzhou's eyes widened as he looked ahead, feeling a surge of panic. What the hell is that? From afar, huge trees appeared, but what terrified Suzhou were the giant monster, shapes dozens of times bigger than the trees slowly advancing toward them through the mist. Yet, unlike Suzhou's worry, Dihoa looked thrilled, his face lit up with excitement. The tougher the challenge, the more he loved it. Grinning wide, Dihoa said, "It's not that hard to imagine. We're still young, and in a few years we might just conquer the demon beasts in this secret realm. We might even uncover the truth behind this place." Looking at Dihoa's confident expression, Suzhou couldn't help but admit it. "That's Dihoa for you, no doubt about it. I feel scared of things I don't understand, but he's confident he can beat them." Suzhou compared himself silently to Dihoa, thinking maybe not just in martial arts, but even in willpower, he wasn't on Dihoa's level. Dihoa was the real martial artist. Then Dihoa turned back with a serious look, using sonic waves from his temples to scan. His expression changed completely, no longer the usual Dihoa, but a fierce, battle-hungry version. "Their demon cores will be mine sooner or later." Then he switched back to serious, using his powers to check the life distribution in the secret realm. Something was off. To the southeast was a soul lake, like a vacuum zone, all white, definitely a hotspot for elite monsters. The bigger the waves, the rarer the fish. He pointed ahead, eyes sharp. "Let's go, Suzhou, there's a lake to the southeast. Let's check it out." Dihoa and Suzhou strolled through the dense forest, when suddenly, a familiar voice called out, In front of them was the girl who had helped Dihoa back when he first bought the jealousy medicine. Seeing Dihoa, she smiled brightly, greeting warmly. "Isn't this our top scorer, Dihoa? Didn't expect you to be this strong." Vula's teammate standing beside her also spoke up friendly. "Oh Vula, you know top scorer and Thon too." Another girl from below looked up and laughed. "Yeah, hurry up and introduce us. Dihoa just wrecked a pack of crazy beasts like a boss." Dihoa quickly approached Vula's team and asked, "Sis Vula, how long have you guys been here?" Vula smiled and came closer, answering enthusiastically, "Just arrived. We have 2 skilled swimmers scouting the lake." Near the lake, a man's head popped out of the water, panting hard, clutching the grass, shouting happily, "We're rich. We're rich." Vula asked, "Rich how?" This man was Vula's teammate, and he cheerfully announced, "There's a relic under the lake. We're gonna be loaded." Vula got super excited and said right away, "Really awesome, we're rich." At that moment, Dihoa curiously turned to Sujo and asked, "What's this relic? Why are they so hyped?" Sujo, with some knowledge, replied, "In the secret realm world, there are ancient structures, probably ruins of a previous civilization. I heard modern martial arts and genetic tech all originated from there." Suddenly, Vula's teammate's eyes widened. On guard, he turned around and asked, "Is there anyone else?" He thought they were bad news for the group, so he was about to draw his sword and charge at both of them. Before his teammates could act, Vula grabbed his arm, stopping him immediately. "Wait a sec. Vu Duong, Dihoa and So Chao are the champion and runner-up of the Anthon tournament. Their skills far surpass ordinary fighters, so let them join." Dihoa acted cool, slinging his arm over So Chao's shoulder, and said, "Yeah, chill out. We can help explore the ruins." Vu Duong quickly asked about the money first. "So, how are we splitting the loot?" Dihoa waved his hand casually. "We're outsiders. We get paid for what we do." Vu Duong swallowed his frustration and turned back. "Alright, fine, you guys can join, but no funny business," he reassured himself. The future top scholars would become big shots, so he shouldn't make enemies. After a while, the whole team dove into the river. Vu Duong led, since he knew where the ruins were. They continued into a dark cave. Vu Duong said, "Through this cave is the ruins." As they moved forward, Vu Duong observed carefully and wondered, "Strange. Where's Li Vi? Wasn't he supposed to watch this spot?" The bald guy in Vule's team guessed. Maybe he found the treasure and went ahead. They had assigned Levi to guard the cave, but now he was nowhere to be seen. Vu Duong hurried to contact him. "Hello Levi, can you hear me?" "Hello." Everyone went silent to listen for any sign. Vu Lei anxiously looked toward the cave entrance and asked, "Did you see any signs of demon beasts inside?" Vu Duong replied, "None at all. The demon beast traps are set, but no creatures showed up." At that moment, a girl on Vu Lei's team got scared and asked, "This is too dangerous. Levi's missing. Should we keep going?" Facing the female teammates' worry, Vu Duong was pumped, determined to find the ruins. "Wealth is right in front of us. If you're scared to grab it, then get lost, but if you want to get rich, stay put." His 3 teammates stayed silent, torn between fear and desire. Then Vu Duong said on his own, "If no one's backing out, let's move." Vu Lei's group pressed deeper into the cave, followed by Dihoa and So Chao. After a while, Vu Duong shone his flashlight on the ground and spotted human footprints. Dihoa looked and started to doubt, turning to say, "The mouth sign code with So Chao doesn't match." So Chao glanced and responded with mouth signs, "Right. The timing's off." Hoang Vule said her team had just reached the lake nearby only about 10 minutes ago, but they managed to enter the underwater cave, pass through the tunnel, and find a secret path to the ruins. Like unlocking a map mode in a game. "Obviously there are traps, should we warn your friends and get out of here?" But just seconds later, Dihoa gave a strange smile and whispered, "I have a trump card." Soon after, Vu Duong led the group to an area covered in moss and seaweed. Long, sharp strands hung down from above. Everyone noticed the seaweed strands were tied tightly around human bones. Vu Duong said, "This is a demon core. It's lost its glow. Looks like it's been drained dry a long time ago." No surprise, there were barely any demon beasts underwater when they dived. Turns out they've all been eaten. Right behind, Vula glanced over and whispered, "Vu Duong, where are the ruins?" Before Vu Duong could answer, the last girl on the team gasped and pointed speechlessly. The whole group followed her gaze. She pointed the way, and a horrifying scene appeared. The corpse of one of their teammates was tightly bound by seaweed vines. His body was shriveled, all life drained out. Both girls in the group screamed in panic, "Levi is dead." Vu Lei's face turned pale. Shocked that something like this happened in their team, her eyes fixed on the corpse, hands trembling, not knowing what to do. At the same time, Vu Duong stared intently at the relic, crouching down, holding his head, shouting, "Where's the relic? Why can't I see the relic?" Suddenly lumps appeared on his head, his whole body shook like he had epilepsy, face turning purple, stammering, How did Li V die? Vines, I feel it too. Before he finished, Vu Duong's head suddenly exploded. Tentacles sprouted from his neck, long sea tentacles flooding out and connecting above. Vu Lei quickly realized the situation and shouted, "Everyone run." At that moment, a blinding flash appeared, atomic energy radiating powerfully, shining straight through Vu Duong's tentacle-covered head. Vu Duong had completely turned into a monster, but before he fully transformed, Dihua acted quickly to stop it, still speaking warmly. Dihua said, "Never thought the beast would be this smart. Capturing 2 martial artists and parasitically controlling one as bait. We've been led right into its lair." Right then, long tentacles reached out toward Dihua. At the exit, a mountain of rocks suddenly collapsed, blocking the escape route. Everyone panicked. The beast had blocked the way out, not planning to let them escape, so Chao stared straight at the monster, seriously shouting to the crowd, "This is a ghost demon vine, a second-rank king-class beast." Vu Lei was confused, sweating coldly. Stammering, king class, second rank, king class can't be judged by normal ranks. It's no match for our first rank martial artists. Dihua remained confident, smiling, "Who cares what rank it is, watch me crush it." Boom, an explosion echoed rocks, and dust flying everywhere, and from it appeared a tall, muscular man. The same one who had been watching Dihua earlier, showing up just as Dihua faced the second rank king beast. As he appeared, he strode forward fiercely and said, "Dihua, I'm here to take your life." Everyone was shocked by his arrival, and couldn't believe it all, shouting loudly, "The Blood Chi Doctor is an 8th stage martial artist." Dihua suddenly turned around, cold-faced, asking calmly, "Still got others targeting me?" The big guy started recounting how he had been tracking Dihua. "I heard someone used radioactive energy against the beast tide at Gongshu Mountain, and knew it was you. Just following the radiation trail showed where you were. I held my breath, tracked you all the way to this cave, didn't expect to be discovered, and even had a big rock blocking my way. I completely stopped my heartbeat and breathing playing dead, yet you still noticed. No wonder you once cornered the Hoak family." Seeing this guy put so much effort into finding him, Dihua glanced at him puzzled and said, "Huh, uncle, who are you?" Suddenly stepping forward, he said some weird stuff to the guy. "Do we know each other?" The unexpected question made the guy so angry he couldn't hold back attack. "Stop pretending to be dumb, just die." His fist clenched tightly, gathering massive energy to strike Dihua's head. But before he could act, some beast tentacles blocked him. The guy just stood there, frustrated, unable to do anything. Mouth. He yelled again, "This is the devil Ma Dang's lair, daring to lure me in and use a demon beast against me." He was so pissed, he lost all reason, unable to control his emotions. "Damn, it was this your plan?" Dihua looked at him but didn't answer. Just stood there, with arms crossed, watching. This guy was struggling hard with the demon beast, constantly attacked and beaten to the point he could barely breathe. "You dared to trick me," he shouted in rage. Dihua still didn't move, calmly watching. "Man, he's creative, first time meeting and already like this," Dihua thought silently. The demon beast's vines kept wrapping around him. Annoying him so much he exploded with power, pouring all his energy into breaking those pesky vines. "What a pain. My target is you, not these vines." The scene got crazier as the guy fought fiercely, shaking the whole cave, ready to collapse any time. Vula stood behind, worried, shouting, "This ain't good, the cave's about to cave in." She turned to see Dihua, still standing there, activating his demon lord form. He started charging nuclear energy, prepping a powerful attack. As he pushed the energy, a blazing sphere formed strong enough to shatter rock, and water began flooding in. Dihua pointed to one side and said quickly, "Sis Vula, everyone get out first." The team quickly left, but the troublemaker wouldn't back off, continuing to attack Dihua. At that moment, So Chao arrived, swinging his sword to block the guy, while I stood here. "Don't even think about touching Dihua." The guy wasn't scared, sneering, "Haha kid, I'm a top-tier martial artist. What can these ice blocks do to me?" But before he could act, Dihua charged with a powerful punch, no hesitation, smashing into his face. "Hey nosy uncle, where you looking?" The guy looked up just in time to see Dihua's fist right in front of his face. No time to react. One punch from Dihua crushed him to the ground. The light from the punch lit up the whole cave. Dihua didn't want So Chao to get hurt because of him. He looked back at So Chao and said, "You go ahead. That guy's too strong, you won't handle him." Then the young man turned back, eyes serious. "Let me deal with him. One hit from me already wore him out and staggered him." The group followed Dihua's lead and swam back to shore. Vu Lei's group was safe, while Devil Ma Dang went totally berserk, stirring up the lake bottom. A moment later, when So Xiao reached shore, Vu Lei anxiously asked, "Where's Dihua?" So Xiao sadly didn't answer, just turned his head toward the underwater cave, signaling he was still there. Back at the cave, Dihua's shockwaves were wreaking havoc, releasing insanely strong nuclear energy. He was straining, activating a new form, Seeing everyone gone, Hoa dared to use the newly updated Titan avatar from his system. As soon as he activated it, the young man quickly crushed the stranger with one giant Titan hand. In no time, the big guy surfaced body purple and badly injured. Hoa's shockwaves also tossed everyone around. So Chow saw Hoa's giant form, eyes wide, trying to make sense of it. Later, Hoa returned to normal and swam close to shore. He propped himself up on the grass, shirtless. So Chow ran over, calling Hoa. Hoa didn't dare climb ashore yet, and said, "So Chow, lend me some clothes." A moment later, the young man dressed and sat down, enduring everyone's interrogation. So Chow immediately asked, "What was that explosion just now?" Hoa, exhausted, sat down to rest and replied, "It was a mysterious martial artist. He carried a plasma bomb to commit suicide along with the demon spirit." So Chow was shocked. Isn't a plasma bomb a military-grade item? How did he get it? That blast seemed even stronger than a plasma bomb. However, So Chow still felt suspicious. He frowned and said again, "There seemed to be a giant figure in the smoke." Hoa, afraid of being discovered, turned pale, broke into a sweat, and quickly denied it. "No way, it was just an illusion." Hoa breathed a sigh of relief, thinking to himself, "Lucky I got away with it. If they knew the power of my monster template, it wouldn't be good. I went a bit hard, crushing that martial artist to get the demon spirit core. Everything's done now. It's time to part ways with the Vula group." She waved goodbye Hoa. "We're heading out first. Sorry for making you come for nothing and even having to save us. Once we're out of the secret realm, we'll compensate you." Hoa politely and warmly waved back. "Don't be so formal, Sister Vula. Consider it paying back for the last time you helped me. If you compensate me, then I'll owe you again." Now, only Hoa and So Xiao remained, both wearing serious expressions, looking at each other, then quietly said in unison, "Now it's time to have fun hunting monsters." 3 days later, at the entrance of the secret realm, Kongthu Mountain Hoa and So Xiao finally cleared this secret realm. Both jumped out, and as soon as their feet touched the ground, they looked up. No way that barren mountain from 3 days ago has turned into a small town. And there's even a large plane flying overhead. Both exclaimed, "Only a few days, and they built a small town, plus transport planes. Ha Kingdom's construction power is seriously scary." Rushing to the exchange counter, Hoa slammed a bag of spirit stones on the table. The clerk warned, "Please be gentle. If the items get damaged, it won't benefit you either." Hoa scratched his head awkwardly. "Sorry, but I'm carrying too much stuff. If I don't take it out quickly, it'll be hard to finish checking in time." The woman behind the counter replied enthusiastically, "Don't worry, we're experts." Hoa breathed a sigh of relief, took out the space ring on his hand and calmly said 2 words, "All right then." At this time, many large bags of spirit stones, like the one before, were taken out. He counted each bag, and when he took out the last one, he sighed in relief. The final bag. But looking around, even the exchange clerk turned pale. The bags of spirit stones were piled so high it shocked her. The girl asked in a trembling voice, "Sir, have you taken everything?" Hoa looked straight at her and flashed a dangerous smile. His sharp eyes seemed to pressure her to hurry up. "Done, but you guys better speed it up. We still have a lot of spirit medicines." In the trading room, the atmosphere was lively voices, bustling as a group gathered around a table. Tram Xiao praised the spirit stones Hoa brought back. "Oh my god, this is the 7-star leaf, at least 300 years old. This kind of spirit medicine is super rare. Even professional herb gatherers hardly find it. What luck does this kid have?" He even found the 6 Harmony Fire, the main ingredient for refining Qi Si pills. Just this batch of spirit medicines, even at low quality, is worth 30 million. And the rare types are even more expensive. This martial artist is insanely lucky. Overnight, millionaire status. Old Hua looked around, suddenly spoke up. "Are you losing it? Getting this many spirit medicines isn't just luck. People like him should never be messed with." Hoa stood in a distant corner, observing their attitudes, mumbling quietly. "Now those useless white and blue core beads mean nothing to me. Better to cash them all in." He smiled, his voice dark and dangerous. "The 5 blue demon cores from 3rd-tier demon beasts in the Beast Dynasty and the 2nd-tier demon cores of the Demon Lord species with golden patterns are the real treasure." A moment later, a notification from the bank beeped. Beep beep, the bank card added 27.57 thousand day. Hoa calmly slipped his hand into his pocket, stepped out of the transaction room, mumbling calculations for his next move. With the demon cores done now to find someone to buy the elixirs, then it's all good. Suddenly, a fancy car pulled up right in front of him. Hoa looked up, unsure whose car it was. An older man stepped out, confidently approaching with a smile, and said, "Hey Hoa, I'm Li Hu Dian, owner of Binhua Pharmacy. I heard you have plenty of elixirs from Kongtu Son. I'll pay 1% above market price." Hoa glared lips, curling, not too interested in the offer, but quickly did the math in his head. These old center guys trying to smuggle my info, whatever. If someone comes looking to buy when I need to sell, that's just perfect. He agreed to sell right away. Mr. Lee finished buying and reminded, next time you have elixirs, remember to come to me. Dihua watched him leave, still holding his phone that beeped. The bank card added another 7.5 0.6 4 10,000. Looking at the amount added to his account, he muttered, this much cash still can't beat a 10% power boost. Personal combat strength is the real deal. Gene projects and white or blue demon cores on the market are useless now. Then Dihua sighed wearily, complaining, humph, my template is even pickier than its owner. High-end stuff like blood, jade fruit, or premium gene elixirs I'm not even qualified to buy. Suddenly, an idea sparked. Dihua looked up, eyes sparkling. Ah, there's another way. He recalled how in the exam he crushed Lu Thon-Truk completely, thanks to the power of the Mad Accumulation Emperor Demon template. But when it came to martial skills, he was far behind those specialized in martial arts. So now, the mission is to get some insanely strong martial skills. Saying that Dihua sprinted like a mad horse shouting, old man, I'm coming for some gold. Scene shifts to Anthon High School principal's office. A steaming cup of tea sits on the table. Dihua went straight to the principal's tea table. The principal doted on him like a precious egg, massaging Dihua's shoulders personally, and said Dihua didn't expect you to still remember your old school. Dihua smiled awkwardly. Principal, don't be so formal. The principal nodded. That's right, you're the top scholar, a role model for all of Anthon. But this champion here is actually scheming to make more money. Dihua pulled out a large ginseng wine bottle, placed it before the principal, and said softly, Sir, this herbal wine from Binhua Pharmacy isn't a bribe, just a little token of respect for my elder. Seeing the fragrant bottle, the principal's eyes lit up like car headlights, smiling brightly. Dihua, you're truly a good student who respects teachers. After gifting the wine, Dihua didn't forget to say, Principal, I want to learn some strong martial skills. Do you have any connections? The principal hugged the bottle and replied, You're not in college yet, so you can only rely on the martial clans. You've already been accepted to Hoado. Why not wait until school starts? Why rush to learn now? Dihua looked at the principal, passion on his face. Principal, I want to improve faster. The principal nodded reluctantly. All right, I can help introduce you a bit. After all, you're a special talent. We are educators. Of course you have to teach students according to their talents. You can't keep going down a dead-end street. Dihua leaned in close and whispered a few words into the principal's ear, making him grin widely. The principal is right. Rules are fixed, but people have to live. The education sector is lucky to have teachers like you who understand change. The old teacher is all flustered, too much praise, haha. The next day, Dihua was showering in his room, soaking wet, when he got a call. Dihua, it's done, you can go right away, the principal announced. Dihua replied, Thanks, sir. Which martial clan is it? His eyes widened surprised and he said loudly, Huh. The Liu family from Anthan agreed to pass the secret technique to him. Cut to outside Owen Thon, a man waiting for a blonde girl riding a super fast motorcycle. The girl's hair flew like a ponytail, a bit scared, saying, On Keat, you're driving way too fast. It's freaking me out. The man smirked, acting all cool. It's even scarier than that. Just as he was enjoying the chill moment, a familiar voice rang out from behind. Botio, if you're speeding, focus. Reckless driving hurts people. She warned, making the young couple in front jump, turning around with confused looks. The man in front got pissed. Cursing, You sugarcane bush, are you crazy? Scared me to death. Riding that old-ass bike and still want to race me? Right after he slammed the throttle and shot off like a rocket, leaving Dihua and the insults behind. The couple sped down the main road, leaving insults behind, their excited screams echoing. Bro, so cool, so badass. Dihua looked down on them, feeling annoyed. He glared, unable to stand their tone. Suddenly, a powerful energy burst startled the couple, their hearts pounding like they'd jump out. Who said bikes are ordinary? This is Dihua, using nuclear energy, one strong pedal, and the bike zoomed past those two easily. He even threw out, Get lost, you little rat. Dihua blasted off like a rocket dust, trailing behind him in a long line, and in seconds, he vanished from sight. The couple was so scared, sweat poured like a shower, unable to believe their eyes. Bikes are this fast now. The girl behind stammered, shaking, faster than a plane for real. In less than 5 minutes, Dihua arrived, stopped his bike, looked up, facing the gate of a huge mansion. Oozing with wealth, he stood alone at the big gate, eyes deep in thought. Definitely a martial clan, he muttered, then scanned the energy around. Even the force field had several terrifying energy flows. Just then, the grand gate opened, and Lu Thon-Truk stepped out, waving at Dihua. She smiled warmly, but didn't smile too brightly. A bit shy. You're here. Dihua looked at her, smiled softly, teasing. not happy to see me. Thon Truk blushed and quickly denied it. No, it's not that. This guy Dihwa is about to attack again. So you're really happy to see me, huh? She quickly looked down, ready to lead the way. Mom told me to pick you up. Let's go meet her now. Dihwa followed Thon Truk inside. Just entering the grand gate was enough to show how insanely rich this place was. Thon Truk looked up and called out, Mom, Dihwa is here. On the high steps, a woman wearing high heels. Step by step, Tan Lam, the head of the Liu family, walked calmly. She had platinum blonde, wavy hair, full lips, and a captivating beauty as she spoke. Welcome, Dihwa. As soon as Dihwa saw her, his face flushed red, and he exhaled like a boiling kettle. This was definitely some serious heat. In his mind, he unconsciously thought greedily, Your Excellency Prime Minister, I have finally realized. After losing the match, Liu Thon Truk returned home to face her ever-expecting mother. The space between them was unusually silent. No one spoke for a long time. Thon Truk was the first to break the silence, her eyes sad on the verge of tears. Mom. But contrary to Thon Truk's fear, her mother gently folded her hands, showing little concern, then said, Thon Truk, don't worry. On the TV screen, she continued speaking frankly, I watched your final match live against that kid named Dihwa. You performed very well. Dihwa's abilities even at the Hoa Do exam were like a dark horse. You shouldn't blame yourself. Thon Truk didn't expect her mother to acknowledge her. No pressure at all. She stood there, hands trembling, full of self-blame for feeling so weak. Just then, her mother stood up, her gaze serious as she spoke about the future of the Liu family. Your younger brother's abilities are limited. He can't take over the Liu family. By your generation, only you can shoulder this responsibility. She approached Thon Truk, caressing her beautiful face, then continued. But you're a girl, and born like this. She went on to reveal the harsh truth about the Liu family. Their father passed away early, and the Liu family no longer has a master to back them up. The family's power has declined so much that they're stuck in this small An city. If a major family requests a marriage alliance with you, we can't refuse. That means the Liu family will be swallowed by others, and our century-old legacy will be handed over. So your mother wants you two to live together. What do you think? Thon Truk was truly shocked, never having thought about this. Her cheeks flushed, heart pounding. Liu Thon Truk's mother seriously expressed her view on their rival Dihwa. Dihwa is pretty impressive, a genius, from a simple background with unlimited potential. From what she's observed, he's not a malicious person. You don't have to answer now. Just try living with him first. Back to the present, Dihwa was at Liu Thon Truk's house. He stood before her queen-like mother. Seeing him, Mrs. Lian smiled warmly and welcomed Dihwa to the Liu family. Dihwa was a bit shy, bowing respectfully. Ahem, hello ma'am, I brought a little gift. Everything seemed very thoughtful. Dihwa even prepared a gift for Liu Thon Truk's family, probably trying to butter them up, no beating around the bush. Liu Thon Truk's mother looked up and asked directly, I heard from Principal Nut Trung, you want to learn some advanced martial arts, right? Dihwa obediently replied, yes ma'am. She then told her daughter to take Dihwa along. This surprised Dihwa. He glanced up secretly, thinking, why did she agree so fast? Then, Liu Thon Truk's mother acted completely natural, stepping closer to Dihwa, creating a private space for both of them. Thon Truk would take him to the Liu family's martial arts vault, which holds forbidden martial arts that can't be taken outside. So, he only had 1 day to train. Deep inside the martial arts vault are 3 sets of legendary martial arts techniques. Whether he learns them depends on his ability. With her permission, Dihwa respectfully thanked and bowed to the Liu family matriarch. Kia, yes, thanks Liu family. She glanced at Dihwa with a mysterious look, thinking why thank the Liu family and not Tan Lam himself. Looks like he already made a promise to the Liu family. Good Dihwa, the Liu family will make sure you fulfill that promise in the future. Liu Thon Truk's mother smiled, and Hai Long looked at Dihwa, a very smart kid. The more he looked, the more he liked him. Meanwhile, Dihwa didn't understand why she was looking at him so strangely. He just felt her gaze was special somehow. Thon Truk also noticed her mother's attitude but didn't dare say anything. After a while, she led Dihwa to Tang Kat Vo, a path leading to a dark tunnel. Thon Truk walked ahead to guide Dihwa, trailing behind her small figure. Suddenly, Dihwa stopped curious and asked, Hey classmate Thon Truk, why do I feel like you always avoid looking at me? Thon Truk was startled, didn't dare turn back, stammered, I don't do that. But Dihwa, with a mischievous grin, moved closer. Teasing, really Thon Truk, blushed, bright red, embarrassed and speechless, trying to put some distance between them. She shouted, What the heck are you doing getting so close? Dihwa laughed out loud, swaying back and forth. After a moment, Thon Truk led Dihwa to a large, sturdy stone door. Both looked up at it. Thon Truk turned to explain. This is the stone gate, made from Hoa Luk Thach, a special stone, mined from the secret realm. It can neutralize attacks from a Huyen Vo master level without breaking. Dihoa hesitated. Can I punch it once? Thon Truk squinted. Go ahead, you say that, but you're full of doubts inside. Dihoa's thoughts were weird. He should be amazed by this magical stone. Right. With Thon Truk's approval, Dihoa began gathering atomic energy in his palm. The familiar blue glow appeared. He clenched his fist tightly and struck with full force. She couldn't help but recall the terrifying moves he showed in the arena. As he started the move, the blue light from his punch made her eyes widen. Scary memories flooded her mind. She dared not look, turned away and closed her eyes, fearing the scene would scare her again. At this moment, the energy was fully concentrated. Dihoa punched hard at the solid gate in front. A powerful energy burst from his punch, shook the entire tunnel. He thought this punch would destroy everything, causing a massive explosion. But when the punch hit the door, the energy suddenly vanished. The air grew quiet, everything strangely silent. Suddenly, Lu Thon Truk couldn't hold back laughter, covering her mouth, giggling. Meanwhile, Dihoa stood there, confused why there was no reaction from the door, feeling like his punch was just a light tap on a stone wall, like punching the ocean. The force almost entirely absorbed, leaving no impact. Then Truk burst out laughing loudly. Let's go. I'll lead you inside. Tonight there'll definitely be some cool martial arts for you. She smiled inwardly, thinking, hee Dihoa. You finally admitted defeat. The door opened. The master himself opened it for Dihoa into a large secret chamber, filled with tons of martial arts documents and materials. Thon Truk began introducing the martial arts here, include body techniques, defense training and swordsmanship. Then she gently asked, which one do you want to learn? Simple. Just use this personal card to unlock the permissions. Dihoa didn't hesitate to ask right away, where's the Huyen Hoang martial technique? She led him to an area with a high-tech card scanner and said, the Huyen Hoang martial arts are hidden in the deepest part of Tuathach. So you gotta scan your card too. But you won't master it right away. At best you'll only learn a tiny bit. I actually think Mom giving you access might not be such a good idea. I can help you pick a few martial arts manuals that fit your skill level. Dihoa didn't back down, jumping close to Thon Truk with a teasing smile. You worried about me or what? Thon Truk got annoyed, blushing, thinking, I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. Dihoa kept going. Ahem. You don't need to worry about me. I know what's up. If I want to learn, I gotta go for the strongest. The Huyen Hoang martial arts are here. I'm not scared to learn them. Otherwise, I'd just go home like a good kid. He got curious and asked, is this door powered by black alchemy stones? Thon Truk slowly entered the password and replied, we gotta keep the Huyen Hoang martial arts vault super secure. These black alchemy stones are insanely rare, something you can't just get anywhere. Thon Truk continued, reminding him to collect these stones. The Liu family started way back in the era of our ancestor Tai Jia. Inside, there are tons of ultra-secure safes heavily guarded on the outside, and each safe has the inscription, Corpse Prison Demon. She explained proactively before Dihoa could ask. Learning Huyen Hoang martial arts isn't just about reading, it's about feeling the author's intent passed down through the techniques. If you can't feel it, or if your martial attributes clash with its meaning, you can't cultivate it. Huyen Hoang, martial arts are living entities, not something the martial artist chooses, but the martial art chooses the learner. Dihoa got more and more hyped, a big grin spreading across his face. So, the Corpse Prison Demon, I'm the chosen one of this martial art. Then, a safe labeled Corpse Prison Demon was opened. Dihoa's silhouette now looked even more terrifying than the thing inside the safe. He stood firm, hands in his pockets, eyes blazing with anticipation. Suddenly, his expression changed, worry clearly showing. Wait, so Huyen Hoang, martial arts aren't books, but statues. In front of him was a statue of a twisted demon monster, sitting on a corpse, stepping on the heads of those it had slaughtered.